In the yard for the feature race of the day, the Jeep Group 2 Australia Stakes at 1200 metres. A race won twice in recent years by Black Caviar as a 3-year-old and a Tudor Hard Stripe next in the orders. Let's go to the yard. We've got Sam out the middle there looking at these horses closely. And I suppose the key one to talk about, obviously, is the favourite Dissident. Shark, I don't think we have to overanalyse the form. He is the best horse in the race. His rating says that. Wait for age is fine.
They're off. It is written the first to bounce out of the stalls. Dissident got away well. He's up there about second or third. Hardstride moved up on the outside of It Is Written, and Tudor went through on the inside, and they're the leaders. So it's Hardstride from Tudor the fence. A length and a half away, It Is Written. Mourinho's up there fourth. A length away came the fave Dissident. A length and a half away, Blackie Ordino, and one behind them, Smoke and Joey. 700 to go, and Hardstride the leader, out by a length Tudor. They're staying off the rail. Mourinho sneaks up along the inside. It Is Written a length away, fourth, followed by Dissident coming wider. Then Blackie Ordino second last, and Smoke and Joey inside the 600 metres. Hardstride by a half to Tudor, a length and a half Mourinho. Followed It Is Written and Dissident on the outside of these. Mellon's just asking for something from the favourite now. He doesn't immediately respond. Then Ordino, Smoke and Joey and Blackie. Tudor strikes the lead around the turn. Mourinho's running a big race. Then came It Is Written. Dissident's got it all to do as they corner, where Mourinho's taken the lead. It Is Written coming after him. Mourinho from It Is Written and then Dissident. Mourinho's giving a big kick. It Is Written with a last lunge. Mourinho hanging on, and Mourinho's won it by a nick to It Is Written. A photo for third. Dissident maybe from Smoke and Joey out wide. Then Tudor and Ordino. Hardstride dropped out of it, and Blackie was last in.
There's some amazing scenes down here in the Manning Yard with Mourinho's shock victory. First up in the Group 2 Australia Stakes at 12. He loves the valley, we know that, but 1200 metres, surely not. Fence off. Well, he rode the fence and come out in the straight. Stalls off. It Is Written. Big flop here, Dissident. What went wrong there? He was the first horse beaten. They didn't go hard earlier here. First half of the race in 35.55. Or 25. I'm not too sure if you got all these shots of the.
Let's have a look at it. If we're not in, we can't run. And the horse come through by Wednesday. He was, really perky and well. And I thought, let's roll the dice. We've got nothing to lose. He was going to trial. It'll cost us probably.
Well done, Pete.
Thanks, guys.
Terrific story and great emotion on the show here. Not so much from the punters, but previews for the Blue Diamond. And if the betting ring's telling us something, it's that you want to be with the powerful Godolphin stable here with Misa, who's been $3.50 into $3. And with that, the early move for Top Me Up's been thwarted. It's now out to 4.8 from 4.2. Here's the market for this. Let me look at these in the yard. You'll have to look at number one here. Manhattan Blues looks fantastic in the yard. It's at the $7.50 though. And for a first starter, specking a little, perhaps you could say, for Kirabo.
Messer, ridden out of the barrier stalls, jumped pretty well. Top Me Up began brilliantly, the grey, and he's going for the lead. Kentucky Flyer and Trench Fighter began just behind them. Well-sided getting through on the inside, and they were followed then by Carabo, beaten for a little bit of early speed. So was Manhattan Blues. Eagles Dare demonstrate out wide, and Burnstone last on the inside. It's Top Me Up on the inside, and Messer. Two of the favoured runners are going to come around the turn in front from Kentucky Flyer, who's deep around Trench Fighter. Well-sided in behind them, and Carabo's made up ground down on the inside. Manhattan Blues still a long way back along the inside. Top Me Up went to the 400 metres under a hold. So is Messer, but he's a length and a half behind out wider. Burnstone has made a tremendous amount of ground, getting right up on the inside, and Carabo's running on. Coming to the 200, Burnstone dashed through on the inside and took the lead from Top Me Up, followed then by Messer battling away strongly, but Burnstone is streaking away. This is impressive. Burnstone by 2.5 to Top Me Up. Carabo's run third. Photo for fourth between the stablemates, either Messer or Demonstrate, and getting going when it was all over. Manhattan Blues along the fence. Further back was Wells.
Well, smallest horse in the race with the smallest price tag, perhaps to some extent, being a Reduced Choice, and gets up and is.
And then one of the Arrowfield staff said we've got to announce he's a windsucker, so which didn't worry.
Yeah, sporting bet by Blue Diamond Stakes, the favourite for that race, runs here. That's Fontanon. It was a work with Shamar Wind recently, we just heard, and Shamar Wind came out and won today. But the mark to beat, 58.64, isn't it? 58.64. Here's the market for the girls division with Fontanon, the $1.85 favourite. Write it down, 58.34. Time to bet, 3.5 to 1 the quarter. And that to $1.85. Take Pride in Helsingor, $6.50 with Promenade Shoots. Promenades is your market mover. And
Off they go. Phototon jumped away okay, but then seemed to put in a hop and bound in the air. Tia was very slow. She's out the back early now. Promenades began flying, and from the outside, she's coming over after 200 to lead from Helsingor into second placing. Driving up Haybar on the rails into third spot, followed then by Phototon, who's got balanced again, and she's fourth along the inside. They're followed then by over on the outside, Take Pride as they cornered in. It's hanging off the corner, so they're into the straight, followed by Tis My View, who's got down on the inside, and then came Band on the run. Pursuits was further back in the field. Tia making some ground on the inside, and Woogie the Grey was coming down the outside. 300 metres to go. Haybar on the inside, and Pursuits the leaders. Now Fontaton has got to the outside, and here she comes. Zara winds her up, followed by Helsingor, and Pursuits making ground. Fontaton went to Haybar. Promenades can't go on. It's Fontaton and Haybar with 100 to go. Fontaton and Haybar. Fontaton goes home a little bit the better. Fontaton by a long hit to Haybar. Pursuits got home 2 lengths away. Third, Helsingor's run fourth. Promenades weakened. Getting home then was Comprende. Tis My View made some ground on the inside. Followed Band on the run. Queen of Wands. Followed by Le Grand Cru. Woogie.
Goes the favourite. Fontaton didn't all go her way in transit. You saw that incident at the start, and you knew that she had a lot to come fitness-wise. Well, she's got away with it today. Fontaton over a very fit Haybar and a satisfactory view for Pursuits. And at the start, we jumped cleanly. 2 horses we want to have a look at here, 6 and 7. So Helsingor lays in on it. There's a bit of a chain reaction there, and doesn't get a chance to hit the ground running.
Yeah, didn't step it. It's one more step to X-rays and looking at the physical aspects of horses, and now we've got.
It's the Expressway Stakes worth $200,000 plus. Weight for age, Group 2 over the 1,200 metres. And let's start our mounting yard presentation with number 1. He's a multiple Group 1 winner. He certainly loves it at Randwick. He has won here at Rosehill as well.
He's a quality horse at 41. Weary got to 8 back to 750. 31 Bagman. 16 Malavio. That's a good idea. 7 into 6. Territory 15 into 14. Thermal Current 20 into 16. 3 Fontaine 7 into 550. Panzer Division favourite out to 440. Dean, what did you think in the
They're off this time. Bagman came out awkwardly. Boban second last. Driefontein beat them out and shows out from Thermal Current, who settles right up on the speed today, followed by Territory. That's a good idea. Malavio. Panzer Division's easing back from that wide gate to try and get in. Weary's going up into about 6th spot. Then Hawkspur, Boban beaten up, and Bagman is last of all. Thermal Current in the centre, taken on by That's a Good Idea out 3 wide, and Driefontein is holding the rail. Then came Territory, Malavio. Weary is back along the inside, followed by Panzer Division. Looks to have worked in okay, followed by Hawkspur, Boban beaten up, and last of all is Bagman. So it's Driefontein with the inside running, taking a narrow lead from Thermal Current, and That's a Good Idea's on the outside, followed by Malavio. Further back was Territory. Weary on the inside from Panther Division. Boban's going to be the widest, followed by Hawkspur, but Driefontein's in front with 300 to go. She's a length and a half clear. Thermal Current trying to go after it. Territory getting through in the centre, and Panther Division starting to wind up. Weary on the inside. It's still Driefontein in front with 100 to go. Weary's coming up strongly on the inside. Driefontein's hanging on. Weary diving. Weary came really fast. It's either Weary or Driefontein. Nothing in it on the line. Followed by Territory, Panzer Division and Malavio. Then came in behind them next Bagman, followed by Beaten Up.
Fontaine was home, but right on the line. I thought Weary got him, but it's going to be very close. We've got her. Here's the photo, punters. The inside. Number 4 will get it. Number 4, Weary, will get it, according to my man. Number 4, Weary. There it is. Number 10, Driefontein, who looked all over a winner. 4 beats 10.
Out on the course proper Monday morning, I think it was, and just enough to tighten them up. And, yeah, we probably shouldn't overlook.
Big features here, group racing, the Eskimo Prince Stakes with the resumption to the careers of 3 really quality colts right at the top versus those that have had some recent racing and edge in fitness, and one of those has really been well supported.
$300 notes into $2.80, 360 to 280. 6 is our bolt.
Well, ins and outs missed the start. He was the last out of the gates. He's gone past 2. Scissor Kick began well and leads from Delectation, followed by Harrier Jet, who jumped out nicely. He's easing back into the box seat. Ins and Outs is making ground around the outside. And then Bold Circle, Kermadec and Diamond Valora is settling down last. Delectation Went to the front now. Ins and Outs has made ground up on the outside into second. Harrier Jet gets a nice run. And then Scissor Kick settling down fourth. Two to Bolt Circle, followed by Kermadec. And Diamond Valores is going up on the fence. So they get Kermadec out a little bit wide, 600 out. Delectation in front. He settled okay in the run. Lead from Ins and Outs, Harrier Jet and Scissor Kick. And then Kermadec on their back. 2 or 3 to Bolt Circle. And Diamond Valores is a long way back as they turn for home. Delectation just led from Ins and Outs. Plenty of room for Harrier Jet. Scissor Kickers running on and Kermadec down the outside, but Delectation exploded away. He put a couple of lengths on. Scissor Kickers running on, and then Kermadec and followed by Harrier Jet. Delectation in front. He's starting to duck in. Scissor Kick's having a real dig at him now. Scissor Kick ranged up and took the lead, and Scissor Kick beat Delectation, who hit the brick wall 100 out. Followed by, back in third spot, Harrier Jet, and then came in behind them Kermadec, followed by Diamond Valores, Bolt Circle. Last in, Ins and Out.
Well, the heavily back Ins and Outs, its chances were dashed when the gates opened. I just wonder what happened. He seemed to change stride.
Yeah, look, Delectation put in a little curly stride or two, and it certainly has left him unbalanced and perhaps cost him the race. But take nothing away, Scissor Kick is a serious colt. He's really furnished him to.
Oh, terrific contest. Scissor Kick, the winner of the Eskimo Prince yesterday. Delectation, perhaps could have been, should have been, but that's what racing's all about. You've got to get the job done.
This will be, I think, Mark, a real good race form-wise going forward. First, second, fourth are very, very good horses, and they're going to be right around the Group 1s all the way through this Autumn Carnival, through the championships.
Well, you think Scissor Kick could be better as the races get longer, but Delectation's got that many tricks up his sleeve. He pulls his head off. There he's tried to throw the race away.
So it's a matter of why won't she win?
That's a fair point.
So it's a matter of why won't she win?
That's a fair point.
Number 2.
It's now 220 into 210. It did touch 205. 220 into $2.10. And Marianne 13 bet now 10 and 550 Mahiri. Interesting race.
Nina Rock came out at the rear of the field. She'll settle down last. Best out was Catkins with Role Model now hunting through on the inside, and Lily Bolero hopped out well. She's up on the outside in third spot, followed by Marianne. Plucky Bell going up along the rail. Then Mahiri. Nina Rock's gone past 2. Just a Blue and Aranosa last of all. Role Model in front. Lily Bolero comes across to sit outside it. Catkins behind them, the favourite third. And Plucky Bella half away fourth on the inside, followed by Marianne. Then Nina Rock, followed by Mahiri. It's just been shuffled back a touch, followed by Just a Blur. And Aranosa last as they near the home turn. Role Model from Lily Bolero. Catkins stalks them in third, about a length and a half away from Plucky Bell. And then Marianne, followed by Mahiri, and Nina Rock's trying for a run in the centre. So Role Model led with Lily Bolero and Catkins looming up on the outside, followed by Plucky Bell. Nina Rock's made up some ground down there at the inside, and then Mahiri, but Catkins ranged up to Lily Bolero, and they'll fight it out by the looks of it. Catkins and Lily Bolero. Catkins on the outside. Lily Bolero won't go away, though. Catkins has just got a head in front. Lily Bolero kicked, and there's nothing in it right on the post. Catkins or Lily Bolero in a real head-bobbing finish. Mahiri's run third. Then Nina Rock, followed by Just a Blue.
It wins. Number 1, Catkins wins the New South Wales Thoroughbred Breeders' Classic. 1 Catkins, wow, it took every inch of the strut. 34-25, a half head by 2 1/4 lengths, a half head by...
Knowing Catkins so well and getting the best out of her for a narrow but brilliant win in the Breeders' Classic, and $85,000.
In a race, she'd been a bit luckless last time in. I'm not sure that Catkins is going as well as she ever was.
Yeah.
But
the track has been upgraded, not surprising after the time around the first. Of course, it's the new trammer here. Royal Schnitzel, $2. Well, that was shorter than the $2.30 it was this morning, into $1.95. And you can see that.
Royal Schnitzel jumped away okay. So did Lucky Racky. Fontaine Ruby began fast out wide. She's going forward. But as they settle through the first 100 metres or so, Fontaine Ruby very deep on the course. Has the part of the lead with Royal Schnitzel right over on the inside. Thinking of You in third placing, and then Sabatini on the inside of a Fleet Esprit. A length and a half further back as Lucky Racky, and Boundary last on the rail. Coming past the 800 metres, and Fontaine Ruby still tracking a fairly wide course is the leader off the fence from Royal Schnitzel against the rail. She's about 3/4 away now. A length and a half Thinking of You, a length further back Sabatini, a fleet of Spree on her outside, and 2 Lucky Racky, who's on the outside of Boundary. So Fontaine Ruby about a neck in front coming around the turn. From Royal Schnitzel will use the rail. Thinking of You eases into the clear. A fleet of Spree is on the move as well around the outside. So Royal Schnitzel down to the 200, led by about a half to 3/4 Fontaine Ruby. Sabatini's run up behind the leader, trying to get an out. And they look to be the 3. Royal Schnitzel now. Will she run the trip? Sabatini got the split. Sabatini finishes too well and won it by 3/4. Photo for the minus between Royal Schnitzel the inside and Fontaine Ruby. They got away on the weakening of Fleet of Spree and Thinking of You, and then Boundary and Lucky Racky.
Good win, good resuming win here by Sabatini. Did a lot in the first campaign going towards Group 1 racing, and Group 1 placed, of course, in 1,000 guineas. Sitting back off an even speed here. They've run 1:9.59 overall. Lot to look forward to with her.
It seems to be very tough and thrives on racing.
Good, yeah. Well done, Shannon.
No worries. Thank you.
Shannon Hope as
Thank you.
Shannon Hope as Sabatini comes back. Diamond Prelude and the heavily backed Fontaton, $3 in the 270. Clear favourite over Secret Agenda, who's been 3 out to 380 from Flamboyant Lass at $6.50. Got to say, most of these, as a rule, have handled the day very well in the yard.
Secret Agenda's been adrift to 3 to 4, so interesting.
Philly's Prelude last year comes Earth.
Fontaton, reasonable to move. Alongside of it, beginning very fast, Flamboyant Lass, and also Heatherly. They're the 2 early leaders from Fontaton, who's quickly into 3rd and 4th, and Miss Gidget's driven up to be on the pace as well. So Fontaton's about 5th now, with Antelucan, and getting up on the inside. Just behind them is Le Grand Cru in the green colours. Make her own way on the outside, followed by Dynasty Queen. Antelucan was next, just wanting to over-race a bit by the 600. It's fast. They're being followed by Queen of Wands, Heir Apparent. Secret Agenda's got a long way back on the inside, followed by Tiffany Cashman. Then pulled to the outside was Hell or High Water as they cornered, and Pursuits as last. Into the straight, Heatherly, the leader narrowly from Miss Gidget. And on the outside, Flamboyant Lass. Fontaton wobbled towards the outside. She's starting to stoke up now. They come past the 200. Heatherly headed by Miss Gidget, but now Fontaton starts to warm up. She's raced up Fontaton, the favourite claim, Miss Gidget, who's running a good race. They're followed by Flamboyant Lass, but it's Fontaton too strong. Beats Miss Gidget a length and a half. Flamboyant Lass 3rd. Getting home hard was Heir Apparent. And Heatherly weakened on the inside, followed by Queen of Wands. Just behind those to finish in the race then was Make Her Own Water. All too good there.
Yep, they won it. Have a look at them enjoying their ownership here with Matcham Racing of a star filly in Fontaton. Went in the best filly or benchmark juvenile in Victoria comes out of it. Reputation enhanced, I think. Got a few things wrong. Zara whipped left hand to make sure she went straight. Straight she did off the back of a sizzling speed set by Heatherly. They've run 1:28. Brilliant. She's the one they've got to beat.
Keeps stepping up.
We'll wait and see what happens with the boys here. Plenty of drama out of it already in the steward's room. Chad Schofield copped the backwash of interference from Antelucan. Involved here we'll have Glenn Boss and also Mark Zara. More on that to come. There's your market for the boys. Were of the brave favourites from Pride of Dubai, Sampay. And let's get to them in the yard.
He resumes. He impressed on debut as well. Spruiked post-race here on TBN. Then look at spin support, 360, 350 back to 360. You see your fluctuations there on screen and a couple of dips.
Of the Brave jumped okay. Stylish Assassin and Chop Me Up again very fast, the grey. Also beginning very quickly, Bantam as they settled out, and Kirabo driving up. So there's about 4 across the track. And it's Of the Brave, one of them with the red cap, leading from Kirabo on the inside. Chop Me Up 3 wide, and Bantam's out 4 wide. Now a length in front of Stylish Assassin. Ice Flow not too far away. Demonstrate getting up on the rails in the red cap there. They were being followed further back. Well, Stylish Assassin lost his place a bit, and then came Black Vanquish on the outside of Brackenby. Back behind them is Pride of Dubai, about 7 off the leader. They're followed then by Extra Choice, Call Me Anything, back towards the end of the field, and Sompe second last, and Grittington's last under the whip. Kirabo and Of the Brave cornering in front now from Bantam. And they're followed by Top Me Up, Ice Flow. Demonstrate ran out of room there. Brackenby's trying to force his way through, but Of the Brave picked away on them. Opened up 3 lengths with a lovely turn of foot. Pride of Dubai starts to storm home on the outside. Of the Brave is all out. Will he hang on? Oh, maybe just fell in, but Pride of Dubai's really launched late. They're followed then by maybe Top Me Up, in a photo from Sompe, who's got home in a photo for 3rd, then Brackenby. Just behind those Grettington men by Stylish Assassin, Call Me Anything. Towards the end is Demonstrate Kirabo. And shortly after crossing the line here, Extra's Choice has thrown Michael Walker and continued on. And, it's fallen in number one.
There you go. One wins it. 1 from 10 of the Brave. Significantly here moving forward is 1-3-6-6 compared to 1-2-8 in the previous. Significantly slower time, but of the Brave gets it. Professional 2-year-old wobbled up the strike
on the day and having them spot on. That's exactly what he was. This horse, he puts 500 split for the fillies, was 28.2. So they've gone about 3 to 4 lengths quicker early, Bruce.
Well, there we go.
He just fell in, but
$170,000 3/4 to Eloping. Mightn't look flash on the day, but Mark Riley's adamant there's a lot more to come from of the Brave. Probably buy to pay a late fee and run. Sampay also good from back there. You saw Kirabo run into the fence of its own accord there. He certainly looked as though he's got more to come of the Brave. He's a magnificent type, Star Spangled Banner, isn't he?
Fantastic looking colt. Look, Prodigy by an eye catcher without a shadow of doubt. Sampay likewise from the back, very, very good. The sectionals tell you that. Just watch it.
Just to look out for below that. Fillies ran, if you use the real top level, the fillies ran, if you use the old comparisons, they've run 6 lengths better than the Colts division on times. They've not run nearly a second faster. And, that to me just says that they're a dominant bunch of fillies over the Colts at the moment in Victoria, and Fontaine is the dominant filly amongst them. So I've got her rated right on top. I just can't see how any of the Colts are going to beat those 2 good fillies, Miss Gidget and Fontaine in the Blue Diamond. It's hard to see them doing it. A nice colt won the Colts division of the Brave, but he walked to the line a little bit. And even the second horse, who was flashing home and had a flashing light on him, Pride of Dubai, he didn't run the sectionals that Fontaine did. But
and that is a great spot to be enjoying relaxed racing here at Caulfield. So we get ready for the Schweppes Rubiton Stakes and Chautauqua. The $1.80 favourite here. Nods on favourite today in Royal Schnitzel. You would have thought Chautauqua was a better $1.80 chance than Royal Schnitzel was, but that's hindsight. We can say that after the event. Royal Schnitzel went under, but Chautauqua, one of the best sprinters we've got in the country. We've got some good ones in there.
improved like Deepfield and so forth, so he has to as well.
Really relaxed fella too, isn't he? Like he can go and he carries that in his racing, doesn't he? He can
see. And Chautauqua jumped evenly. Eloping jumped well. So did on the outside Oakley Girl away, probably the best out of the stall. So it's Oakley Girl in front of Flamberge Atmospherical settling third, and handed them now Eloping using the rail. 2 lengths in front then from Chautauqua outside Samakare. They've followed Missy Longstocking on the outside of the favourite, who's got back about 6 lengths away from the leader, just got shuffled back a touch there. They're followed by The Thief as they race by the 600-metre mark. Then followed Richie's Vibe, who's last and second last as they sweep to the turn. Then is Amathon. So 400 left to go. And it's a line of 3, Eloping one away from the rail. Flamberge wide. Oakley Girl on the fence ahead of Atmospherical. Missy Longstocking, The Thief. Chautauqua's in a bit of bother here. He's got to the outside, but he's got about 4 lengths to make up. Flamberge and Eloping go to the lead from Missy Longstocking. Chautauqua's coming, and then Atmospherical. It's Flamberge the leader now. Chautauqua starts to fly. Flamberge being tackled by Chautauqua. He's finishing the best, and he's got there. Chautauqua ahead to Flamberge. 3 lengths. Atmospherical just in front of Missy Longstocking. Then Richie's Vibe, Amathon, The Thief, Eloping weakened. Samakare second last to go over the line, and Oakley Girl weakened to be last.
Well, he was always going to get there, wasn't he? Well, he has. That's the most important thing. You don't want it over again, but the bit of class pulls out late here. You got the $1.90 on the totes, $1.85 your SP. Flamberge makes him work for it. Always just looked to be dragged back a spot further, maybe.
Where he was, and you watched the replay, Dwayne didn't panic. He just sat, he just waited, he got him balanced. He was, he probably waited a bit too long, but he never got him off stride, and that's what hit the line. I mean, if you think about it, he's only just hit the line. I mean, if you think about it, he's only just won. If you get him off stride and get him unbalanced, he doesn't win. So full credit to Dwayne for not panicking, because
that's right. Mid-race, he sort of got towing with me a little bit, which he can do. Craig come back another pair further back than I expected him to give up, and I just had to come back a little bit more. But it's not about the corner, it's about his running transit, and you see the finish that he can produce.
Oh, it looked awkward, but it was a win, and a dominant win in the end, really, by Chautauqua. He's now favourite for the new market, and that's with Terra Vista, Lankan Rupee, Brazen Bow still to come, and of course Deepfield. But Dunn, he gets into a spot he didn't want to be, but he backed his judgment here, and look at those sectionals, 22, 26, 11.08. and just too good, Chautauqua.
Phenomenal splits, weren't they, once he got clear? And considering he only was really out and balanced from the 300 metres, shuffled back and with a wall of...
Look, if their opposition is not scared of Chautauqua going into the Newmarket, they should be, because that was a sizzling performance. We know he's lethal down the straight. Little question marks on him around a bend, but they were dispelled yesterday. He got into an awkward spot. He just motored to the line after giving him a start and getting home that fast. That was an awesome performance, I thought, and obviously the horse to beat in the main race.
Agreed. And it shows you how a good horse can save. Well, I don't want to say a poor ride, because I think he was a victim of circumstance about where he got. And it was a bit stop-start. And luckily, it was a fast enough run race that a horse that got into a bit of drama back in the field, albeit minor. But in those short sprint races, you don't have to get into much trouble to be in trouble. And I noticed Wayne Dunn gave him a very good pat when he got over the line, and thought, oh, thank God you're a very good horse, because you've got over the line. The fact of the matter is, when jockeys get beaten on horses like that, regardless of the circumstances, they're under pressure. They're under pressure because, especially, John, the Hawkses aren't the most forgiving people when it comes to jockeys. So, you can be in a bit of drama.
It might not be for
Chautauqua. Have a look at this this market for the Newmarket. Look at this for a hot lineup.
It is.
Deep field. The Team Hawks have still got him at home. They haven't unveiled him yet for the autumn.
He'll run next week, but unfortunately, I think Dwayne Dunn got suspended yesterday, so he'll be looking for a new jockey for deep field. So that could be a story to follow.
Weeks coming up. That's it, Rich. And Dissident can go back to back here for Peter Moody. In fact, in this race, Peter's won 4 of the past 5. There's your market. We need to get to the yard and have a look at these. Dissident, $2.70 favourite, and the dry track certainly big plus for this horse. Here's how
that's, and then he sort of lets go quickly and then keeps grinding.
Good luck. Thanks, Pete.
Thanks, Bruce.
Peter Moody, Dissident, about to go in the CF4.
They're off. Spillway jumped well. Very quickly away was Dissident. He's going to be right on the speed, looking for a front-running role. Picking up on his inside is Entirely Platinum to hold him out now, and Java's come away quickly to be third on the outside, pressing on. Mourinho just in behind them, settled down fourth, followed by Muro. 2 lengths further back is Spillway down on the inside, being followed then by Aeronautical as they went by the 1,000. 2 lengths further back is Petrology. Star rolling on the inside of him, 2 in front of Toy Dini. Bagman well back on the fence, and then Happy Trails out 3 wide. They're being followed by Toy Dini, who's a long way back, and so is Real Love, followed by Beaten up towards the end of the field with Sontag. Entirely Platinum has the lead down the side, a half length in front of Java, a length and a half to Mourinho running third on the inside, and Dissidents in a lovely trail, 600 metres to go. He's fourth, being tracked up 2 lengths to Spillway. Muro the outside. Happy Trails has been 3 deep all the way, but he presses on as they near the turn from Aeronautical. Star rolling. Petrologist a fair way back. They corner now. And Java raced up to Entirely Platinum. Dissidents called on for his runners. Mourinho wobbled out just underneath him, and they're followed by Muro and Spillway. Java the leader. Here comes Dissident. He's racing up now on the outside, and Mourinho between them just had to check over heels. Dissident claims the lead. Entirely Platinum's boxing on the inside, but Dissident comes away. Dissident beats Entirely Platinum by a length and a half. Mourinho's run another cracker third. Java and Spillway followed for fourth, and then Muro. Happy Trails battled away really well. Just behind those then was Bagman getting up on the inside with Star rolling, Real Love, Aeronautical, followed by the weakening Java and Toy Dini, and well back is Beaten up Sontag and Petrology, one of the last in.
Moody talks it up. Ben Mellon gets it right. Dissident wins a Group 1. That's 5 of the past 6 all stakes for Peter Moody. Just tends to drop the bits when he winds into his work. But as Pete said pre-race, he builds up and he keeps grinding to the line. He was never going to get beaten. It was always going to be those up on speed here. Entirely Platinum, and Mourinho runs another beauty after box seating and coming out here. Java handy for a 3-year-old. Spillway good up the fence later. But mistakes for you, Pete. You never get sick of those sorts of things. But you must be well satisfied with this horse coming out and doing that.
Yeah, listen, I'm very proud of the horse. He's done a tremendous job. He's probably one of the best milers, if not the best miler in the country. He's 4-time Group 1 winner, so, it was just good to see him bounce back. He wasn't happy and wasn't suited at the Valley, but, 7 furlongs a mile, he's nearly unbeatable, certainly under these conditions. So congratulations to Newgate Farm and their new syndicate that have purchased into him. He's going to make a wonderful...
Yeah, won't run on wet tracks. You've got to make sure his value's solid.
Well, listen, he's made his value, and I've got to respect the fact that people have invested a lot of money in him. It's not a
horse, and he's got all the right attributes of a good horse. I was the other day at Moonee Valley, I was adamant that it was, the track and the tempo that brought him undone. It just doesn't suit the style of racing that he likes. But as far as middle distance horses go, he's probably the benchmark in the land at the minute, and he's able to get up and dictate on top of the speed. He's takes a lot of running down.
Just by a length and a half.
Well, it's 4 Group 1s now for the stud-bound Dissident, and that certainly helps his cause. Off to Newgate Farm when he finishes racing, through the Futurity, up to Sydney for the George Rider and the Doncaster. It was a tale of the tape here, and Benny Mellum got this absolutely right on Dissident, out in 49.76 first 800. Have a look at him here. Nothing from the back makes any ground. First 4 round the corner, first 4 home. You can read the race whatever you like. It was just made for those on speed, but the best horse won.
Yeah, he did. Clearly the best horse in the field. Look, and that's his sweet spot, isn't it? 1,400, 1,600 metres at Caulfield, where he can get up on that speed and then kick off it. There are a few horses in the weight for age ranks at that distance range at the moment that can do that and do it regularly, and Dissident's proven he can over the last 18 months. Very, very good horse. And 4th Group 1 now, as you say, is a valuable commodity going to stud. It's also Moody's 5th win in that race in the last 6 years. 3 of those have come through the Australia Stakes, Typhoon Tracy, Black Caviar, Moment of Change, those sort of horses that have come through.
Peter Moody during the week declared Dissident in the Orr Stakes. He said nothing will be beating him, and he was proven correct. He should know a thing or two about winning the Orr, as you stated. He's won the last 5 of the last 6 races. Look, it really was a sprint home. They ran between the 1,200 and the 600. Dissident ran 36.32, and his last 600 was in 33.32. So it was always going to be difficult for the back markers. Well ridden by Ben Mellum, who's
thought there was a lot of merit in Entirely Platinum's performance. Mourinho was great again, and Spillway was the eye catcher from the back late. So all honours with the winner. The strongest weight for age race I've laid eyes on, or the Group 1, but he got the job done. He got it done well, Richard.
Yeah, often isn't the strongest weight for age race, but I agree with what you say here. And Peter does target those first 2 weight for age races of the autumn. He's won the double with Moment of Change. I think he's won it with Typhoon Tracy as well. So this horse will go straight to Futurity. Be very hard to beat there. Recent form says it will be the way. I think you've labelled all the other runners. We'd give a little bit of a tick there to Java too. He battled on all right, being beaten 3.5 or 4 by Dissident in a Group 1 weight for age off the standard he's been at. Wasn't a bad effort for him too.
Of the day, the Light Fingers Stakes and the top 4 in saddlecloth order are already Group 1 winners. This is a terrific race for the 3-year-old fillies. The sprinting fillies versus those, they're going to be better suited towards a mile. They'll be going for the classic races throughout the carnival. And this race is going to be an absolute beauty, highlighted by
$6 first seal, 320 out to 380 favourite, 10 cents. Amicus 15 into third.
Now they're right. Often Racing, Winks has come out slowly. She'll settle at the back of the field. Best out, One More Zeta. Mott's Fun jumped out well, and Press Report's gone up on the outside. Just behind them, First Seal. She'll settle down 4th, followed by a Drift showing some speed from Amicus. Then Memorial, followed further back by Supara. Back behind those horses next as they settle down, Slightly Sweet from Peggy Jean. And Winks, who missed the start, is last of all. Press Report's the leader, 600 out. Leads by a length on Moss Fun. One More Zeta is third, followed by a Drift, and then further back in behind them next Amicus Memorial. Now he's trying to get away from the rail on First Seal. He got a bit of a squeeze when he tried to come off the fence. Then Supara, Slightly Sweet, Peggy Jean, and Winks is back last of all. Into the straight, Press Report led. Moss Fun's only a length and a half away, hasn't moved on it yet. Followed by One More Zeta, a Drift down the outside, followed by Amicus. First Seal's come to the outside now, to starting to wind up. Moss Fun joined now by a Drift, who's hit the front. First Seal has got the last shot at it, but it's a Drift taking the lead from First Seal, who's a half a length away. Here's a boil over. A Drift has won it from First Seal and Slightly Sweet. Then Peggy Jean, One More Zeta. Winks was running on late. Moss Fun knocked up from Memorial. And then further back behind them, Supara, Press Report and Amicus last in.
Yeah, it might be a boil over too. Number 10 Adrift, Ty England for Gay Waterhouse. Sat in the same spot we just saw the previous winner, just sit 3 wide and travel and put pay to them. When
Amicus, of course, is going to be a 1,600-metre horse. What did we make of More Zeta? Memorial argued
for Mark when the 40-1 chance wins here. Great pedigree of Maldivian's family, cost $370,000. A maiden winner at Newcastle, a moderate 62 before that. I don't think we saw it coming really, Rich, did we?
I bet 100 to 1. Hundreds into 40s. The owner didn't even come to the races. He was on the couch having a chicken. John Camilleri. So, look, yeah, outstanding. And she's only going to be better. Gay said before. I told him I'd win 2 oats. Probably didn't want to think they'd win a light fingers, but.
Well, that's the thing, Rich. She looked Oaks from day one, didn't she? She has never jumped in. She hasn't been able to keep up, and there she was jogging, running 4. So that's the improvement she's made from one preparation to the next.
First seal. Look, take nothing away from the winner. She was outstanding, but the way the track played, Bruce, was what coming straight against first seal. Instead of her positing up 4th or 5th the inside, Blake Shin had in his mind one thing: get off the inside, and he probably gave away 4 to 5 lengths to get to that part of the track. So, what we're going to do with this track? A lot of
interesting before the race was a betting move for Winks, $8 into 480. She was very strongly supported for a filly that gives the impression she's probably looking for a bit further. Disappointing run, you'd have to say. Moss Fun, first up since her Golden Slipper win. She was strongly supported to start, $3.60 favourite. Tommy Berry said, just
perfect position on the turn. She was there to pounce, and I thought she was pretty good.
I don't want to knock her. I think she did the job. You can't make a lot of excuses for the ones behind her. Pace probably helped her a little bit. She was able to sit there without being gassed. But I watched for Seal. Now she was on the rail, didn't want to be there. Blake Shin went to get off the rail, perhaps a touch early, and ended up having to check her. Look, it might have cost her the win. I was still satisfied with her. I thought she went well for Seal, and I'd be quite happy to be on her next start.
I thought Blake had to go back a little bit.
Great, as a lot of the key gallopers towards the Autumn Carnival kick off their campaign here. And a terrific event. Number 1 in the mounting yard is...
So it's $8 into 550. Hawkesbury, 31 unchanged. Janoob, 71 appearance.
Now, Weary began well with Night Legion out wide. He's Your Man was showing some speed, and Queenstown coming through in the centre. It's up into about second spot now, followed by Malavio, Boban, Diamond Drill, and then Contributor, followed by Foreteller, Silent Achiever in the second. And the leader is Queenstown. Night Legion trapped out 3 wide, and Weary's in the centre, just easing back behind them, followed by Malavio. He's Your Man's in a handy spot, running 5th, and then Boban, Diamond Drill. Contributor next, followed by Disclaimer, Foreteller. Silent Achiever further back, followed by Janoob. Lucia Valentina is still second last, at about 12 to 14 off the lead, and Hawkesbury last of all. Night Legion went clear, coming to the turn, leads from Queenstown, and Weary on the outside. He's Your Man tracking up nicely. Then Malavio, followed by Contributor and Diamond Drill and Boban as they top the rise. Night Legion in front. Leads by a couple on Queenstown. Weary's running on with He's Your Man, and Contributor is starting to let rip down the outside. Night Legion in front. Here comes Contributor. He's thundering up the centre. Contributor grabbed the lead with 100 to go in the Godolphin Blue, and Contributor races away and beats Night Legion. Weary and Lucia Valentina fight out third. Then in behind them next, Silent Achiever, followed by Boban running an improved race. He's Your Man, Diamond Drill, Foreteller.
Wow, what a performance. Number 8 Contributor. He's a serious racehorse, this horse by High Chaparral, the former European bought by the
Force, and he's going to be a major player going towards the Chipping Norton, the Rambit, the BMW, the Queen Elizabeth. He's the real deal.
They were beaten and they were absolutely demoralised by the winner, and there's no way in the world, unless something out of the ordinary happens, you can see any of them, Mark, turning the tables going forward throughout the autumn into the championships. He was outstanding.
Yeah, well, he looks an outstanding racehorse. His sectionals today won the Coonji are unbelievable. Of course, he failed after that at Flemington, but he's been put away after that, and he had been trialling really well with a great turn of foot, and he showed it again there. Great run from Lucia Valentina. Just found herself in the wrong spot, Richard.
Court that won the David Jones Cup during the Spring Carnival, and Ron, it looks like he might have come on even more since the spring. After that, you've got to say he looks set for a big autumn.
May have been flattered by a brilliant ride by McDonald, who found all the right options in the right part of the track, blah, blah, blah. But that's an awesome return over that distance. I don't think he'd won under 1,700 and something metres prior to that anywhere. Look, he's future secure at Darley. Now he's a son of High Chaparral, who's no longer with us. I like the way...
3-year-old fillies, Group 3. Set weights and penalties, the conditions of the race. Short price favourite in Whale, $1.90.
And away they go. She jumped beautifully, Maastricht. Clover Lane and Miss Adele a little slow, and they go back there with the Sweet and Speedy stablemates together at the end. So Maastricht, the leader, with Whale pressing on 3 deep around Indulge. And Fenway gets a nice trail through the first couple of 100 metres back fourth, as Wales doing a fair bit of work to find the lead here. They're followed close Speedy, 2 lengths away, Miss Adele. 700 left to go, nearing the turn, and Wawale narrowly. Indulge keeping her honest on the outside. There are a couple clear to Clover Lane. Maastricht has had a lovely trail in the race today. Set Square coming on right around the outside, and then came Fenway. Sweet and Speedy, Moss beat down on the rail, and Miss Adele. So Wawale first into the straight. She leads by a length. Indulge. Clover Lane down near the inside. The big grey Maastricht called on for her run now. They come to the 300. Wawale under the whip, a neck to a half length in front of Clover Lane. Maastricht on the outside, still boxing on. Fenway producing now, but Wawale still the leader. 100 metres to go. She's got away a length and a half. Maastricht, Set Square finishing off. Sweet and Speedy swapping them. Set Square and Sweet and Speedy come to the lead, and Sweet and Speedy there. Moody again beats Set Square, and a photo for third. Maybe Wawale just gets it. Ahead of Fenway, then Moss beat Maastricht every chance, didn't finish the last couple of 100, followed by
Froggy pick up off Luke Nolan. Welcome back again, Peter Moody. Knockout punters again, 16.50 on the $17 chance. That's 61 into 26 into 17. Do the maths on that for me, Shark. Sweet and Speedy, last crack at them. Set Square.
Really, if she's got something to chase, it'll probably help her that little bit, because she's still left.
Beats in Sydney, Sweet and Speedy for PG Moody. Set Square, the Oaks winner from the spring, coming back, and while obviously in that quicksand on the inside, got way down there. The Sydney Oaks.
Peter Moody wants to look at the ATC Oaks for Sweet and Speedy, and why not? I know she only came off the back of a benchmark 70 for 3-year-olds there, and she stepped right up to the vanity class there, and she's cleaned up the Oaks winner first up, albeit. Definitely worth going for, because I don't think the 3-year-old fillies are. I don't see a dominant one there. No, and I think, why not go forward, because at this stage it's wide open.
For the quaddie, afternoon quaddie, and this is for the 3-year-olds. It's the CSA's terrific contest here, 2 weeks out from the Australian Guineas. So these are some of the main players going towards the Group 1 Australian Guineas at the mile. Very wide market, I've got to say, though. Disposition at $5, well, was a minute ago, is your favourite from the Stratum Star. San Nicasio's had support, but a lot of good 3-year-olds, will they define their place in the Guineas?
About $10 before the running of this race.
Yes.
San Nicasio away very fast, so was Wandjina. Test a Shadow. Bascule jumped away okay. Lucky Liberty's putting on a Bronco display. He's bucking out of it, and he's dropped out, and he's 10 lengths off the second last horse. The 1200 Wandjina presses on and takes it up ahead of Disposition, and also up there on the outside, Test a Shadow. San Nicasio posted wide, presses on to get outside the leader, who's over racing. Bascule's fifth on the rail, followed by Stratum Star, lobs into a nice place. 2 in front of Miriam Hauraki. Better Land on the inside from Orient Line. Chivalry second last. And last of all, about 6 lengths away then, is Lucky Liberty. Coming up to approach the turn now. Wandjina well off the rail. San Nicasio deep out. Dispositions with those 2 leaders down on the inside in the pink colours. Followed by Test a Shadow. Bascule the rail. Stratum Stars had a dream run. Pulled to the outside now. Marion from Better Land. Hauraki deeper out. And then came Chivalry. Lucky Liberty saving the ground on the inside. Coming towards the 400 metres now. Still Wandjina narrowly from Disposition the inside. Wider here, Stratum Star letting down with his run now. Marion was deeper out. It's Wandjina and Disposition at the 200. Disposition put his nose in front. Stratum Star coming, and then Marion and Chivalry. Disposition and Wandjina. Wandjina puts a fight. Puts his head in front again. Wandjina. He's got there. Wandjina beat Disposition by a long head. Third, Stratum Star. Marion ran fourth. They're followed then by Chivalry, Bascule, and Test a Shadow in a line ahead of San Nicasio, followed by Orient Line, and further back is Better Let. Tough win that.
What a win. What a win by Wandjina. Almost beat itself, then beat the rest of them. Can't believe it. Found a fight there from Disposition. Mouth open, over raced, finds a second wind, and wins off a Cox plate into this, now onwards to the Australian Guineas for Gay. That's a huge win. Disposition looked to have it cold. Stratum Star every chance from Miriam. Chivalry, that trio always finish about each other, and
see whether he comes up to Sydney,
which really shows the value of having the stable down here, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Yeah, it's in good form.
Great for the Batemans to have such a terrific horse. These are I'll get more on that shortly. Disposition good. Thought he had Wandjina done there, top of the straight, and then that trio know each other pretty well. Stratum Star, Marion, and Chivalry. We thought watching the race, he looked to be going too keenly, but Ollie said no, he was pretty comfortable where he was.
That's part of the race, I think, when he started to really get fierce looking and race with that mouth open. The first 600 he was running 37.13, so they didn't go overly quickly. And once again, a 1,400 metre race for the 3-year-olds in Melbourne run at a tempo to suit those on or near the speed. Gee, was tough, wasn't it?
Brent, you were very keen on Washington there yesterday. Did you have something on it?
Yes, something there at the $13 on Thursday was a nice result. But I think going forward, the two horses that finished second and third there will get an opportunity to turn the tables on Wandjina in a fortnight. I thought he was just very well trained.
He raced with his mouth open yesterday, and I suppose it looks like he's over racing, but he's just got that really high head carriage. So he's tough, and he showed it with the defeat of Disposition, who looked like it was going to defeat him at the 200 metre point, but he really just got the better of him that last little bit. I will say one thing: Wandjina will get better, and expect him to be very hard to beat when he goes to the Australian Guineas. That'll be his next run. He's in the
Well, that's Flemington. I know it's the Lightning Stakes coming up, but we didn't need to have the actual side effects with it. We've had lightning, we've had power blackouts, but we've got the power back. Stuart's just keeping an eye on the weather for the time being as to whether they feel it's safe for the horses to come back in the mounting yard. It seems to CSAs with a mistimed lightning strike. Well, there's your market. And Deepfield, the Hubble Deepfield is the favourite here. $2 virtually public prep to go off here today.
Champion sprinter, reigning horse of the year. Looks.
He might just about to be to deliver it.
Jumped out on the 13th over 800 metres, ran 46.18. They scarcely go faster than that in the Flemington jump outs down the straight. He looked fluent. He looked comfortable down the straight.
The jockey's calling out. He's not ready. Now they're racing. Deepfield and Lankan Rupee both got good starts over near the outside. Fab Pavola away with a fly, goes to the lead in the early part ahead of Brazen Bow. Deepfield dropped in behind them. He's got the split there and he's running third, and Lankan Rupee is going to follow Deepfield. They're followed by Waterman's Bay and the quarterback now. Fab Pavola's making a beeline towards the outside rail. He'll be solo out there. He has the lead. Deepfield now is left taking the field up. Lankan Rupee's a length and a half behind him. Brazen Bow just in behind them, followed by Waterman's Bay and the quarterback. So Fab Pavola heads to the 300. He has the overall lead in the race. Deepfield doing the chasing work up the middle of the course. A length behind him, Lankan Rupee, and Brazen Bow staying on. They come to the 200, and Fab Pavola's getting tired. Brazen Bow trying to get up on the inside. Lankan Rupee went straight past Deepfield. Lankan Rupee claims the lead in the final 100 metres, and it's the master of sprint. Lankan Rupee by 2.5 lengths. Rosenbow second. Deepfield ran third. Then Waterman's Bay, Fab Pavola, and the quarterback.
Absolutely brilliant. Great to see him demoralise opposition. This is what he did last autumn when he took the world racing sprint world by storm, and he was brilliant today. Froggy just sat off the back of Deepfield. He was the first to crumble. Froggy's back with his favourite horse, Lankan Rupee. He's back top of his game. And it was a devastating performance. Brazenbow gets a tick. Deepfield gets a question mark. But not so Lankan Rupee. Absolutely awesome today. And no question.
Pretty dominant, wasn't it, Bruce? You know, it was a beautiful ride. Froggy wanted to tag Deepfield like that if he could have. And it worked out really well for him. So I was just glad to see the horse, do something really well. So off to the Newmarket and the TJ Smith and work it out from there. But no, it was a great day.
Problem to have, but you've worked hard thinking this horse out to get him back to this sort of form by teaching him to sit off horses.
We have, and look, we've learnt through
No arguments there. Best horse won and absolutely demoralised opposition here. Lankan Rupee only had 21 starts. He seems to be around forever, doesn't he? 11 of those wins, and the sprinting crown goes back his way. Blazing sectionals here, not surprisingly. And he sets the scene for the Newmarket, where he's going to carry 58.5 and bring it on, says Froggy.
Just a stunning win, and you could see it in Newart's face pre-race, the anticipation there after speaking to Dale Smith over the last month or so and tracking this horse's progression towards his first up race, and then afterwards, not only the relief, but the belief that the horse is back to his absolute best. And I think home 21.46 his last 400 and 11.11 his last two off a really strong tempo set by Fab Pavola. Although not that Lankan Rupee and co would have seen much of him towards the outside fence. Deepfield was trucking along at a good clip as well. The race just worked it. That is exact carry 58.5. and win the Newmarket. Out of this race, though, Brazen Beau clearly a big Newmarket player going forward. And Waterman's Bay.
Well, he put him in this forward 200-300 from home, and he was never going to lose.
And Froggy also played many things.
Fantastic race. I was really happy the way that he competed against the world's best sprinter. We got to remember that Lankan Rupee, when he got his top time form in the world, it was actually in the autumn. We didn't see him in the spring as dominant as what we've seen him before, and we hope that's what we saw today in the spring. But he was awesome today. My horse being at 5 furlongs, a weight for age against the old horses for the first time. He was just so honest. He got tired late, and even when I asked him to get in front of deep field, he just kept lifting for me. He'll come on. I believe his next run will be the Newmarket, 1,200 metres here, handicap conditions. It seems like a really good, another Group 1 for him.
Could he beat
Mick Price, his trainer, is joining us.
Got many races for him, so each run you have has to be he has to be right in the zone, which he was yesterday. So look, I was glad to just have him right and have him ridden right. See him do what he did. I mean, as a trainer, you love your horses and you defend your horses, and that's what we do. And
of Lankan Rupee, and I just thought he was going to show that acceleration that we'd seen down the straight a couple of times, not only in a race last year, but also in their jump out. It just wasn't there, and James Winks got off the horse and off deep field, and he just thought there'd be another gear, and there wasn't, and Lankan Rupee just sitting behind him went straight past John Hawkes, the trainer of deep field, could offer no explanation other than they were simply too good for him. So the jury...
And a lot of good young sprinters, and knowing the difference between what it takes to win at that level. And it's not about times, and it's not about precociousness. It's about the ability to actually get the job done at that level. And having experienced, seasoned gallopers to be able to do that is what it's all about. So yesterday, I was on radio yesterday in Sydney here, and people said, "Oh, who'll win the match race?" I said, "Well, the old horse will win it." Because he simply is more seasoned and better at coping at that level of pressure. The young horse, a very good horse, will go on and do good things, but he's got a lot to learn. And we saw it yesterday. He got 300 metres out and he started to shorten stride because of the pressure from the older horses. So, I think it was a classic case of it.
I'm not as old as you, Richard.
Catkins.
As old as you, Richard.
Catkins add her name to an honour roll, which includes Red Tracer ×3, Montana Flyer ×2. Some really good mares have been able to win the Millie Fox over the years. This is the good Sid Chrome Millie Fox Stakes, fillies and mares, set weights with penalties, a Group 2 race over 1,300 metres. And let's make our way into the mounting.
So Marty leads from Lily Bolero 3 wide and Breakfast in Bed in the centre, and then Avoid Lightning. Now he's managed to get in on Catkins, who's momentarily a little bit deep, but now finds a nice spot, one off the fence from Il Mio Destino, and Plucky Bell's gone up on the fence. So Marty led as they reach the first bend. 800 out, a length in front of Lily Bolero, Breakfast in Bed, and Avoid Lightning back on the fence in fourth spot. Then a length and a half Catkins from Plucky Bell, and last is Il Mio Destino. 600 out, and Marty is the leader. Lily Bolero still outside it in second, followed by Avoid Lightning, who's starting to kick up along the rail to go to third now, and then Breakfast in Bed. Catkins is directly behind them, and then Plucky Bell and Il Mio Destino. They turn in, Marty the leader from Lily Bolero is quickly under pressure. Avoid Lightning spreading fast, and Plucky Bell's getting a run one off the fence, and Catkins is coming down the outside. Avoid Lightning hit the front in the centre of the track with Catkins chasing it, and Plucky Bell's over on the rail. So there's 3 good chances here. Avoid Lightning, Plucky Bell and Catkins on the outside. Catkins is coming at Plucky Bell, and it's Catkins beating Plucky Bell and Avoid Lightning, who died on its run. Then Marty, followed by Lily Bolero, Breakfast in Bed, and Il Mio Destino is at the back.
Winners just keep on winning, don't they? The others, they always look for excuses. She just knows, and I think when she got past Avoid Lightning, she saw the other one. She said, "Oh, right, I've got to find another."
She's a Coolmore horse for the sake of the weight that she'll get. And I reckon I broke her heart last year, and you don't like doing that.
Oh, what more can you say about Catkins, Rich? Just a total honest star.
Yeah, she certainly is, and I think it was
And the race up for Catkins a little bit, didn't it, when Avoid Lightning couldn't run the trip and Plucky Bell on the inside there. I still don't know if she's going as well as she was, but she just keeps sticking her head out and winning.
The options forward's now 14 wins from 29. She just needs a Group 1 just to cap off a great career.
Yeah, you're sort of desperate for her to get that Group 1, but I'll tell you what, she must have had an off day because she missed the jump. Well, didn't miss the jump. She didn't win the jump. Every time I've ever seen her, she just leaps out. And she was sort of a bit lackadaisical out of the gates. No problem. She was able to sort of sit back in the field, give them start. She's the class mare in the race. But it's the first time I've never seen a leap out of the gates in that tremendous.
I thought it was a bonus
Gazelle
that she,
style. Oh, yeah,
that,
wouldn't
she,
be knocking
that
it.
she came out of the gates that way because it allowed her to be ridden back off the pace there. And I think that suited better. I don't think she is where she was.
Yeah.
I think she's off her top now, and that's understandable. She's a bit of age and a lot of racing, or a bit of racing, I should say. So, and she was, to my eye, ridden perfectly to win.
This is the Silver Slipper Stakes, and two of the last three winners of this race have won the Silver Slipper and then gone on to win the Golden Slipper. Moss Fun last year, Piero 3 years ago. Who wins the 2015 version of the Silver Slipper and probably assumes the mantle as the favourite for the big one, the Golden Slipper, only a matter of 4 or 5 weeks away. Into the mounting yard we go, win the Golden Slipper. 2 years ago, Sweet Idea winning and Piero winning the back.
Now, and they've jumped as one. Headwater breaking out now to take the lead clearly from Voilier. Paceman starting to stride forward, and Ottoman's on the outside of those, followed by Stitzel's Goddess and Alart, and Mashani Honcho settling at the rear. But Headwater's in front. Paceman momentarily a bit deep, going up on the outside, and then Stitzel's Goddess and Voilier. Ottoman 3 wide, but does have a trail behind Paceman, followed by Alart and Mashani Honcho last of all. So it's Headwater in front, getting all favours at the moment. They haven't gone all that hard. Leads from in second spot, Paceman, followed by Stitzel's Goddess and then Voilier. Ottoman midfield, and then came Allard and Mashani Honcho. Into the straight, leader stayed away from the inside, and it's Headwater straightening up clear. Paceman's immediately under pressure. Voilier went through, and Ottoman's coming down the outside. Headwater's in front with about 200 to go. Leads by a length and a half on Voilier. Ottoman is steadily making ground, but they've got to get this leader. Headwater's travelling well with 100 metres to go. In fact, in no danger of defeat. This was going to win a long way out. Headwater goes down to win it. Takes out the prize from in second, Voilier, Mashani Honcho, and then Ottoman, followed further back by Allard. Stitzel's Goddess and Paceman. Very disappointing. It's dropped away and finished last of all.
3 big guns come into the race. One who's got his reputation intact. The other two, well, the question mark is now out. But number 5, Headwater. Wow, 5 Headwater. Wow, he's a serious colt. They bet big overs. The tab put up $6 on Wednesday. He was a better price all around Australia Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The punters stepped in and he never...
A while ago, 3 weeks ago, roughly, and he settled in beautifully. But, he's got a long way to go yet. I know he only beat what he had to do today. He's got a long way to go yet. I know he only beat what he had to do today, but the slip was 4 weeks ago, but we're just taking one step at a time.
But you come in, there was reputations on a few others in the race.
Easy, wasn't it, for a $2.45 favourite here? Great pedigree, $500,000 yearling. Headwater, valuable colt, no doubt, going forward. The slipper at his mercy. Look too easy, Rich.
Yeah, look, everyone at Rosehill, not the trainers from the Hawks, all the opposition trainers, and they're all raving about this horse every time they see him step out. He had improvement to come, and he's a lovely-looking horse. He travels. It wasn't the plan yesterday to lead. They thought they might be able to tag one, but he...
She marks whether she'd run a strong 1200, but the winner looked like he had a lot of improvement. He's a massive, big colt, and he's the one to beat, isn't he?
Clearly.
Disappointment out. Here's the market. $4.60 if it was run tomorrow. You'd say that it's silly odds. But Fond One's got to come through the Blue Diamond, of course. And his excess fare is mentioned by Mark, $15. There's a horse in
speed, there's no question about it. So he's certainly got the right DNA to do it. The one, I wouldn't say it's a negative, but the one thing that you've got to consider is that the first 2 races were run in faster time than this race. This became a bit of a jog trot around the home turn. He flattened out like a real sprinter in the straight, admittedly, but this is a vastly different scenario to a Golden Slipper when they press that ignite button and they just go berserk for 1,200 metres.
I take your point, and I think it's valid. I thought it was the best 2-year-old performance of the season so far. I thought the horse made all and spread eagled them over the last 400 metres. You know, you watch that field; they strung out, and
it's a good sign.
Oh, it's always a good sign. So I've got him there as the best performance of the season so far. But I take your point; it's a very different race, Golden Slipper.
Okay, the end with the feature today, Group 2 3-year-old race, the Hobartville, with an elite field of 3-year-olds, a collection of the best 3-year-olds in Australia. And what a race it is. 4 Group 1 winners are returning for their campaigns aimed at some of the riches of the championships. And Shooting to Win, the Caulfield Guineas winner, is the favourite ahead.
Favourite. Hallowed Crown, $8 into $6.50. Scissor Kick has been $5 to $5.50, rock solid. Swain S, $7 out to $8.50. Hampton Court.
Preferment went up in the air. Diamond Valora's missed it as well. Shooting to Win's coming out humming. He drove through to take the lead in the early stages. Merceau goes with him on the fence. And they lead out from Panther Division, followed by Delectation, who's racing fiercely. Hallowed Crown's handy back on the inside from Swain S, and then Scissor Kick. He looks like he might have got in 3 wide with cover. Followed by Hampton Court and Kermadec, Thunder Lady, Diamond Valora, Sworn to Silence. And last of all is Preferment. They settle down. 900 to go. Merceau's the leader. Lead from Panther Division. Delectation won't settle. He's starting to come up on the outside. 3 wide. Shooting to Win now. 4th from Hallowed Crown. 5th on the inside. Scissor Kickers just behind them. And then Swain S and Kermadec, Hampton Court, Thunder Lady. Well back, Diamond Valora, Sworn to Silence and Preferment. About 550 to go. And Cassidy puts the foot down on the leader, Merceau. Hallowed Crown's tracking up strongly on the fence. He's about to push out into the clear. Panther Division shoved him back into the fence, though. And then Shooting to Win is out now. Delectation is further back. It's Merceau in front. Shooting to Win is starting to let rip up the centre. Shin goes for him now. Hallowed Crown on the inside. Panther Division. And Swain S is starting to run on. Shooting to Win hit the front. Hallowed Crown on the inside. Swain S and Kermadec's out wide. There's plenty of chances here. Swain S is coming strongly on the outside. Hallowed Crown gets up on the fence, though. Hallowed Crown has got there and wins it from either Swain S, Shooting to Win, and Kermadec in a thrilling finish. Then Sworn to Silence, followed by Scissor Kick. Then in behind them next Panther Division, followed further back by Merceau, Hampton Court, Diamond Valores. Then came Thunder Lady, Preferment, and Delectation had finished at the back of the field.
In a good horse race, when you get affected like that on the turn and you still pick yourself up and win, look out. 3 Hallowed Crown, Hugh Bowman for Barton James Cummings. He's a good horse, this fella. He won the Golden Rose on this track over this journey. He now wins the Hobartville. Swain S will probably run second, perhaps Kermadec third in front of Shooting to Win. And
file over 5 furlongs first up, and he's not a 5 furlong horse, but he showed every indication that he needed it, and I can understand that some people had their doubts because of it. But gee, he trained on from that trial. He came out for an exhibition gallop 7 days ago and just burnt the track. Looked so good in his action. So while you come here with confidence, I think what my horse has is a winning attitude, and he's got the record. Any 3-year-old colt in the country would be very enviable of right now. And what a thrill it is to train it for my grandfather-in-law Eduardo Kawanko Jr. and Sheikh Mohammed now, my first ever runner for him, and he's a winner.
Yeah, and the name Cummings with a lovely 3-year-old here. Hallowed Crown, of course, a winner of the Golden Rose back since the Roman Consul with a different sort of preparation, but a heap of good runs here. Winner on the day, Hallowed Crown. No knock on that, Rich, but there's not too many disappointments coming out of this race.
No, plenty of good runs coming out of it. We were just talking off air, and I mentioned it yesterday, even the Sworn to Silence, Bryce Hayes' horse, right back on the inside with the white winkers. It run was outstanding from an awkward barrier. Draws a barrier and it finishes a lot closer, and he's only going to come into his own, getting over a lot further, mile and a quarter, mile and a half. I thought Shooting to Win was good. I loved that he was out of the gates yesterday and put himself there. Merceau probably is a 1,200-metre horse. Hallowed Crown, though, Mark and Brenny, he just keeps on finding a way to put his head in front when the judge says that'll do.
Well, he had to overcome that interference at the top of the straight. Had he got out when he wanted to get out, he might have been, a length and a half further on. He had to get balanced up again, and we saw this horse. Well, he didn't seem to trial that great, but he did that before he won his first start. He started $12 at his first 2 wins, and he's just a winner.
Turn there. It was a super race. Hallowed Crown has now won 5 out of 6. He looks set for a great autumn. And James Cummings, co-trainer.
At that point, he had won all his races by over a length, but his 2 group wins at that stage had both been on rain-affected ground. He was able to go there and prove that it wasn't as important. I think what's important is the horse can find the line. The horse is willing to be in there for the fight. He's a laissez-faire customer in his track work at home, which I think is an excellent quality too. But he's not going to show you those lightning sectionals all the time. And before we took him to the group company, this horse has won 5 from 6, and 4 of those races have been in Group 3 or better. And he capped off with he's got his Group 1 in start number 4. So he has stallions that have beaten the older horses at 3. All Too Hard was able to do it, and if Piero was able to do it, he was able to win a rider. So focus at the moment is to run a genuine mile at Randwick. 2 weeks after that, we get an opportunity to run.
Horses did bloom menacingly 100 metres out. The one that got the cash, red colours, just about to try for an outside run, had to go to the inside. But I'd say the first 4 or 5 horses, little question mark on how wound up they are. As the saying goes, there's a bigger fish to fry.
Probably finished off well, but he'd had a bit of race. You know, he'd had a race, and he was probably had a little bit residual fitness there to finish off. Wayne S's run very good. I'd be very happy with him. We've talked about Hallowed Crown. Shooting to Win didn't win until about his 5th start last preparation. Now he may be one that needs a bit of racing. He seemed to loom up and he got the stitch. He definitely faded the last 50 metres. So we'll put that down to him needing a few runs. I thought Scissor Kick looks like a horse that'll run 2,000 metres to me. I know he's never been tried, I think, beyond 1,500 metres, but he relaxes, he hits the line, he grinds away. Looks like he wants more ground to me. I don't know, but we'll leave that to Paul Massara. Look, the others I couldn't find much excuse for. Panzer Division raced up there. Maybe he needs a run or two as well. It was an interesting race because, as it was one of those perfect races. Good horses without the fitness meeting fit horses without perhaps the goodness. You know?
That's a very fuzzy thing.
Yeah.
Dinosaur. Good 3 as we get ready for the Angus Armanasco. 1,400 metres for the fillies here. And the favourite is, Sabatini at $4 from Fontaine. It's deep. I'm not sure class-wise. Peggy Jean's been there. First Seal's good. Winks has got a bit.
Sabatini jumps nicely down towards the inside. Fantasy 8 got away well, so did Marple Miss looking for the lead. Summer Tested outside Fontaine Ruby are all prominent as well. Bottle of Smoke goes back around midfield. Now, Boundary was one of the leaders, Finder Fitter Filly. Well, Fontaine Ruby, after doing some work, has gone to the lead and moving to second with Summer Tested 3/4 away, 2 in front of Boundary Marple Miss. A length further back as Moss beat wide out, and Sabatini's now about 5th or 6th on the rail. 5 away from the leader. Just needs a little bit of luck now. Bottle of Smoke about to take off round the outside. And then Fantasy 8 and Thinking of You making ground on the rail. Fontaine Ruby first into the straight from Sama Test. And now Sabatini just eases to the outside and she's poised. Thinking of You coming through, followed by Marple Miss. Sabatini raced up now and she's gone up to Sama Tested, Fontaine Ruby, Thinking of You, and Bottle of Smoke coming home. Sabatini's a neck in front of Fontaine Ruby and Sama Tested, but she's good. Sabatini won at 3/4 to Fontaine Ruby and a nose away third. Sama Tested. Close 4. Thinking of You's up there with Marple Miss and Bottle of Smoke made some late ground, followed by Moss Beat, Jaffels, Boundary, and then came Finder Fitter Filly and Fantasy 8.
What a good filly she is and lands a massive plonk here. 420 as low as 320, runs 330 favourite and 3.
Yeah, exactly. I know I usually
look at all of our hair together and have anything like that done. As we get ready for the Autumn Classic here at Corvette, it's Blue Diamond Day for William Hill and Alpine Eagle, the much spruiked Adelaide horse for Tony McAvoy. $2.20 a favourite here and has been a little bit better than that in the early bit.
Going down to the start, coming past me, he's definitely on the job. I'm here with Michael Walker and Hong Kong captain.
A little dive and now they're away. And Chill Party missed it by 2 lengths and San Padre a little slow to move as well. And Czar Speed first to ping out of the barrier stalls. Alpine Eagle jumps okay. He's about midfield at the moment. So it's Czar Speed from Firehouse Rock quickly into second placing. Magic Cool coming over and he's going to be up on the speed as well. Closely being followed then by Lucky Patty down towards the inside in 4th spot. And then came Moon Over Manhattan as they go to the top of the track behind them. Czar Speed a half in front of Magic Cool. And they're 3 lengths in front of Firehouse Rock getting the dream run. He's 2.5 lengths in front of Moon Over Manhattan on the outside of Lucky Patty, followed by Norman Rules posted wide. And then Pepperjack on the inside of Betsy. Alpine Eagle a further length and a half away, followed by Minnezinga, and then trailed Hong Kong Captain, San Padre and Chill Party as last at the 600 metres. And Czar Speed led narrowly to Magic Cool. Firehouse Rock couldn't have had a better run. 2 lengths in front then to Lucky Patty under pressure from Moon Over Manhattan. Alpine Eagle now, Oliver's working overtime. He's got 5 lengths to make up as he comes around the home turn, where it's Firehouse Rock who's absolutely bolting, and he's taken over the running from Magic Cool. There followed Lucky Paddy. Alpine Rock is battling to get near the moon over Manhattan, is doing a pretty good job, but Firehouse Rock's well clear. Minnezinka's got up on the inside, ran to second. Alpine Eagle starting to warm up now. Firehouse Rock in front. Alpine Eagle's not over yet. Here he comes, flies. Oh, I'm not sure. He's dived at Minnezinga, who's got up on the fence, and Firehouse Rock, who looked hump and hosed, has walked to run third. There followed further back then Chill Party's made a lot of ground. Followed further back by San Padre. Mazar speed towards the end, and Pepper Jack is last, and he's got there. Can you believe it?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable performance here by Alpine Eagle. Those who are playing the lay game on Betfair in the run here have completely got hammered. This is 225 into 190. Probably 300 to 1 at the 300 metre mark here. I'm not sure the others came back. Minnezinga got the better of Firehouse Rock and just...
Well, I'd be keen to hear what this ride has to say, Sam. Classic D. Oliver there. You have to lift him, Ollie, and around him the turn, you're a bit flat. Yeah, he took a bit of riding, Sam. He's still pretty raw, this horse, but he's got unlimited potential. I had to come around a couple of tiring horses on the turn and just lost a little bit of ground, and the second horse was able to sneak through on the inside. So he's done a good job to pick up, you know, the one that shot away, because he was probably standing up a good 8 lengths. He's still
chance of backing up next week in the Guineas, going back to the 1,600 metres. Had to be confirmed yet from the Freedmans. We might try and find that out. But here's the divvies.
House Rock in front. Alpine Eagle's not over yet. Here he comes. Flies. Oh, I'm not sure. He's dived at Minnezinga, who's got up on...
Thanks, punters. That's the way a $1.90 chance should win, AD.
Wow, what a performance. It'll be interesting to see whether Tony McAvoy rolls the dice and pays up for Australian Guineas this week, because this was an outstanding performance. You said 360 to 1. If you had offered 1,000 to 1, you wouldn't have taken the top of the straight. It was just a spectacular win. The option is the South Australian Derby.
What would you rather win, the South Australian Derby or an Australian Guineas? And you know you're going to be strong at the end of a mile and just keep fresh for a week.
Yeah.
Run it next week.
Yeah, you think so? I suppose with Alpine Eagle...
To say yes, you'd rather win the Australian Guineas. And he's a very good horse. I don't think he can win the Australian Guineas. I think he does too many things wrong. Look, he's a very good horse, no doubt. You go to the South Australian Derby, start $1.04 and you get the bickies and you get the group.
Eagle and also Minnezinga. You might have torn your ticket up on the home turn if you backed Alpine Eagle, which many people did. It was a short-priced favourite. I'm not saying Caulfield's his track, but he was just too good for him. His last bit was excellent. He's got a lot of raw ability. You can see he still doesn't know what he's doing, and he's performing so well. So I think there's a bit of a decision to make in the next day or so whether Alpine Eagle does go to the Australian Guineas, where he's into $9, or he could head to a race like the South Australian Derby. For mine, I think maybe the Guineas would be a very good option, and Minnezinga could also...
I mean, he showed a turn of foot there that is very, very, exciting horse, you'd have to say. He's only come... So Minnezinga, who ran very, very well, but he's just come through a maiden and a midweek win. So, you just got to temper your enthusiasm about them, but I think they're both smart colts. Firehouse Rock's probably a smart colt as well. Did go a little early, but was bolting on the corner when he did go. Maybe he just doesn't run out the 1,800 metres, maybe back at 60.
Okay, the first of the Group 1 races coming up here at Caulfield on Blue Diamond afternoon. It's the Futurity Stakes, and we've got a hot favourite here in Dissident. He's 1-5. He's going for his 6th, obviously, here after winning the Ore a fortnight ago. And to be honest, it doesn't look any more difficult a task for Dissident this afternoon. $1.75 bet this morning, into $1.60. Went up $1.55 here on course, and now to $1.60 for Dissident. As we look back up the straight, from about the 500-metre mark here, finishes his racing career, which will be this season. And for Dissident, there was $1.75 best bet, I reckon, during the week from where I was looking. $1.75 best. I put up $1.55 here, got to $1.60, now into $1.45. And with
they're racing. And Drefontaine away brilliantly on the inside. Dissident got away well towards the outside. Suavito's up there with Entirely Platinum. Settling into stride by the 1,200 metres. And it's Dissident going on with a job from the outside stall, running to the lead. Drefontaine making him work for it. She's about a neck away second. A length and a half Entirely Platinum drops in for the trail, followed by Guest of Honour wanting to over race. A length Suavito being followed then by Smoke and Joey Bull Point, and 2 lengths to Mr. Milton, who didn't jump well. Dissident leads, but he's sitting away from the rail. On the fence is Fontaine, and she just boots up and takes about a head advantage now. 2 in front of Entirely Platinum. Smoke and Joey on the move deep out, followed Guest of Honour on the rail. They're slowing the tempo down a little here, followed by Suavito, 1.5, then to Bull Point and Mr. Milton. On the run to the home turn, 500 left to go. Fontaine narrowed it to Dissident. Smoke and Joey on a wider run, getting up third, and they're followed then by Suavito running on around the outside of Entirely Platinum and Guest of Honour. Smoke and Joey serves it up to Dissident in the straight. Dissident kicking back now, puts the nose in front. Suavito's the late swooper on the outside. Dissident Mellum's had to pull the whip. He's boxing on, but Suavito's storming up the middle of the course. And she's gone by Smoke and Joey. Suavito takes the lead, and the dying stage is too strong. Suavito won it by a length. Second, Smoke and Joey. Dissident and Nick away. Third, Entirely Platinum ran fourth. They're followed then by Guest of Honour, Bull Point, Fontaine, Mr. Milton.
Huge upset, huge result for Nigel Blackiston, Ian Lewis and the team who raced Suavito. It's a Group 1. It's a Group 1 for the futurity for Suavito, and no seeming...
Great record here, and as you said, first up. And she's so tough. There's not a lot of her, but she's all hard. Tempo was only moderate. It was. Smoke and Joe put a bit of pressure in the race come with the turn, which was good. I was able to get on these back and get a nice drag into it. But all credit here to Nigel and his owners.
Camden is a nice race to try at Group 1 level, and I knew the mare was going really well this time in. She's grown and got stronger, and she had 2 nice easy trials at Flemington, and yeah, it's a perfect race to try at Weight for Age.
When did this race...
Length. Second, Smoke and Joey. Dissident and Nick away. Third.
Group 1, 106 for D. Oliver. Group 1, number 3 for Nigel Blackiston. Well done, Nigel. One of the great guys of racing, and well deserved to him. But the story of the race, and we'll get to Nigel shortly, is the favourite Dissident Adrian, and there's some wash up this morning.
Yeah, spoke to Peter Moody this morning, and Dissident has a grade 2 mucus on scope. Peter Moody is going to discuss with the owners this week what the plans going forward with Dissident is. The options are to retire the horse, to go to Sydney, or other options. The other options exclude anything that's got rain-affected tracks, so virtually either Sydney or retire. With Damien Oliver, as I said, Group 1 win 106, 2 behind Roy Higgins, and closing in on George Moore at 119. You'd think that Ollie's got that in his sights before the career's over?
Oh, yeah. I've got everything in his sights. Spectacular win. And here's Nigel
picking up a Group 1 yesterday.
Yes, it was Nigel Blackiston's third Group 1. He won a couple with Latorio. But Suavito, look, Nigel could have gone to the mares race and carried a fair bit of weight, but ended up going for a race. A lot of people might have raised their eyebrows a little bit with Suavito, but look, it paid off. He took the gamble. She's not the friendliest horse. She bites and she kicks when she gets in a race, and she jumps okay. Well, she certainly can turn it on, and she showed that yesterday. Thought she was only bought for...
Never missed a place first up, so she was beautifully placed. In not the strongest futurity you've ever seen, so beautifully placed.
Let's have a look at the order.
That was as good as the winner was there. It'll be good. Protectionist, it's 460 into 380. 460 into 380. So great rally of confidence here for the Melbourne Cup winner trying to do a Fiorente. Of course, it's never raced at 800 metres, Gator, and I think you've got different time zone, different training regime. It's now in Australia. It's been a short turnaround. History says it can be done. Fiorente, ready for a party?
Yeah, look, I hope so. But whilst I've got you, Bruce, it's as everyone knows, TVN, been great to our stable and all the people that.
And I was coming back from the other side of the world over there. I'm impressed. It's not as fit as you, but I'm absolutely 290. Have a look at this. This is massive.
Backed as if unbeatable.
460 into 290. This is a Melbourne Cup winner resuming here. Protectionist. Wow, looking forward to this now. Let's go to Greg.
And Protectionist jumped out in the middle of the line. Ladari, Axar, Mourinho, and beaten up at the first few to bounce out with Jack and Obey. Star rolling away well from an outside draw, heads forward, and Au revoir is up there with him. Spillway's gone back. His last Real Love didn't have the pace to be on the speed as they wanted. She's fourth last. Settling into stride now. And it's Jack and Obey, Star rolling, doing some work, getting up to join us. 900 to go. And Jack and Obey now a clear leader to the railway side. The field stretches right out. He leads by 3 lengths, Star rolling, 2 lengths away in third placing Ladari on the inside of his stablemate Au revoir. A further 2, Mourinho, and then beaten up and Happy Trails. A half the outside then came Real Love, followed by Axar Protectionist. Next Bagman on the outside, and they're two to Spillway and Sontag. At the 500, Jack and Obey lead still by 3 to Star Rolling, Au Revoir and Ladari. Here's Mourinho coming with his run around the outside, followed by Happy Trails. Then Real Love. Now Protection is going to turn into the straight third last. Jack and Obey the leader. Mourinho coming after him. Au Revoir turned third, and then came Happy Trails. Protection is last. 200 to go, and Mourinho races to the lead now from Jack and Obey. Happy Trails starting to come home well, and then came Axar on the outside. Mourinho from Happy Trails finishing well on the inside of him. Mourinho from Happy Trails and Au Revoir. Mourinho running out. Happy Trails drives. Mourinho wins from Happy Trails. Axar's run third, and close for fourth, Spillway or Au Revoir. Protectionist did his best work late, but was never going to win. Then Jack and Obey, Real Love, followed by Bagman, who's finished alongside of his stablemate Beaten Up. Next to finish was Ladari, Sontag and Star Rolling.
Oh, well, they've gone wild again, the boys. And why wouldn't they? What a star this horse is. Even at age 7, he's having his best campaign. And have a look at him out here going absolutely troppo. That's how they love their racing. And that's what we love doing. It's the great scenes as usual. Not unexpected, but
absolutely flying, Bruce. His last preparation, he sort of took a step up in his career, and he went out for a nice break, and he exceeded our expectations so far. Come into today's race with a lot of confidence. On paper, to me, the horse looked the winner, but you just like to see him keep progressing and improving. I don't want to sound over the top, but he's just in very vintage form for a horse of this stature, and you just can't ask for any more. He just tries. He's
from Happy Trails. Axar's run third.
He's almost got the guts of $1 million now. He bought him for 36,000, and what about the fun they've had along the way? The story of the race was protectionist to some extent. 460 into 290, and really laboured around Caulfield.
Craig Dim said this is not his track. Most uncomfortable. He wasn't comfortable when he ran the Herbert Power. He says that the horse will be better at Flemington. Look, Mourinho, is there a more underrated horse in Australia than Mourinho? This campaign, 2 Group 2 wins, a luckless Group 1 placing. Look, everyone thought that the Galligators were being a bit ambitious with the Cox Plate entry last year. If he happens to win the Australian Cup, he will be no talk about that this year.
He's in now, surely, Rich.
100%. 3 things out of the race for me.
Great ride by Vlad Jurek. He put him in the right spot. He let him go at the right time. He just, if you backed him, you might have been a little bit worried around the 200-metre point where he started to drift off the track. The Galligators boys just can't work out why he's got these little quirks, and but he said we can't iron it out. That's just him. That's how he races. But you can't knock the performance by Mourinho and the boys. Obviously they're very excited. The Moe duo. Now in the Australian Cup, he's into $9 from $26. Mourinho, so he'll acquit himself fairly well on that race. Happy Trailers. Axar, he's racing extremely well, and I think Flemington he'll suit him ideally. Others, I thought Spillway from last had finished very well, so I'm sure that you're going to see.
He got checked at about between the 1,000 and the 800, and he seemed to just go flat from there on and just ground home like a stayer. He'll need every bit of probably 2,400 metres before he shows his best there. I wasn't disappointed with him, but he'll need to go more at a longer race.
Surely he's on shaky ground holding that tight favouritism for Australian Cup, though.
Oh, not the Australian Cup. I think 2,000 metres probably still too short for him. Look, Spillway was the run of the race for the Australian Cup. You know he gets 2,000 metres. He probably doesn't get 24, but he gets 2,000. He'll be hard to beat there. Axar hasn't won a race since the Warrnambool Cup, but it was a nice return. I think Spillway out of that for me.
Okay, that was Caulfield.
Well, boys, good on you. Big night at Moe tonight. Earthquake favourite for the William Hill Oakley Plate, the second of the Group 1s, and one of the sprint races, because it's a handicap. And it is a totally different handicap to the Newmarket, of course. Yeah, this is highly competitive. Love it. Gator Bell Sprint.
If you're in that camp, Earthquake's the favourite at 550.
Well, there's a 3-year-old who's got a rating of 106.
Correct.
And they're on the same 108 on the.
Ready to go. They're off. Earthquake began fairly. Vain Queen alongside of her got away okay and away brilliantly. I'm All the talk goes for the lead early. Earthquake recovers. She's right up there second from Sistine Demon, Lord of the Sky. Whittington driving up along the inside, settling down about 4th or 5th. They're followed then closely in the field by a time for Julia. 2 lengths to Vain Queen outside Atmospherical. Two lengths under the Louvre, back there in company midfield with It Is Written, trailed then by behind those horses is Nostradamus and then Sharmal Win, General Jackson, Iconic towards the tail. Bell Sprinters back there with Fast and Rocking. Coming around the turn, I'm All the Talk, led by Two Lengths to Earthquake. Two lengths to Whittington on the inside, and then Lord of the Sky, A Time for Julia. Vain Queen trying to find a way through, and then Sistine Demon and Sharmal Wind. I'm All the Talk at the 200, led by Two lengths to Earthquake. Atmospherical is getting a run on the inside, followed then Vain Queen, and here's Sharmal Wind. I'm All the Talk, the leader. Coming home, Atmospherical and Sharmal Wind, and Fast and Rocking flies. Sharmal Wind hits the front. Sharmal Wind got to win from either to the Louvre, who flashed home on the rail, or Fast and Rocking and Vain.
Third spot. A length to Ada by
Nostradamus, Iconic, Whittington, Bell Sprinter, followed further back Earthquake. She might have been a bit closer than that. General Jackson, A Time for Julia, Lord of the Sky, Sistine Demon.
Big win here for the Love family, and they love their racing. You'll see some red and white suits coming out shortly, and Shamar Wind is just setting the scene for Dwayne Dunn, all for Robert Smurden. Dunn, a big play on this day in years gone by with 4 successive diamonds. He wins an Oakley plate here on Shamar Wind, Fast and Rocking, and Robert best against 1100-metre sprint race in Caulfield, the home track, and Robert's set to go. In the
star, the Aquanita team is flying, and Shamar Wim, she stepped up to the plate today. She was too good.
Yeah, she was. She deserves to win a race like this. She's tried so hard all her life. And, you know, we didn't have the best of runs in transit till the home bend and come into it, and she really sprinted hard for me. And Jackie Berryman's done a lot of work on this horse, so she deserved a
really good outcome. I've got to watch the replay to see where Shamar Win came from. I was watching trying to watch them both, and then I sort of settled on Under the Louvre. I thought he was in a good spot, and he was getting the cheap runs and just kept getting through, poking up. And I thought he was nearly going to win the race, and then she emerged late. So I got to see the replay to appreciate it. But
you won it, and you ran second,
and fallen short. But once she'd won that stakes race for them, he said, "We want to have a crack at the Group 1." He said, they managed it, so we did it. You know, we just went to their instructions. So credit to James Heron for the commitment to the cause, and he's got the outcome. Got a great outcome. So,
talk of to a new market?
No, not at all. I mean, today's race around the corner was always going to be the best scenario for them. Both run on sprinters, sitting.
To win.
A great Oakley plate for Robert Smurden. Great Oakley plate to watch. Shamar Win now for Robin Donald Love. Put a lot of money to racing, and they get a Group 1 out of Shamar Win, a specialist at Caulfield at the trip. Under the Louvre, brilliantly ridden by D. Moore, saving all the ground. But good result here, and D. Dunn being the pilot.
Yeah, look, Robert Smurden takes full credit here. Third try at the race for Shamar Win. Its form was outstanding. Win goes particularly well fresh. It needs cover, and that's what it got, and it's got an explosive acceleration.
Johnny, you're pretty upbeat about Earthquake going in.
For Robert Smurden, who claimed the Quinella. Mark, she came from a long way back, always been a very good mare, and there she was claiming a Group 1.
Yeah, this was her third Oakley plate, and she was most unlucky in last year's edition. 17th Group 1 for jockey Dwayne Dunn. And the race was really set up by I'm All the Talk, who ran super fast splits between the 1,000 metres and the 400. It was quick time in the race, only a half a second, or just a bit over a half a second outside the course record. So horses back in the field like Shamar Win and Fast and Rocking, they really had the advantage where they were situated, and Under the Louvre, of course, coming from back in the field. Good ride by Daniel Moore as well. But Shamar Wind, she was a private purchase by James Heron Bloodstock for Donna and Rob Love.
Exciting race, wasn't it? Exciting race. Shamar Wind, that's her go. A fast run race, down in the weight. She's only a little mare, and she ambushes late. I thought the ride was cool, calm and collected. And she was too good. A really good training performance by Robert Smurden. Fast and Furious was excellent sectionals there from him.
Yeah, she's always been a good mare, hasn't she?
She has. And look, she needs the race to be run her way. She needs that pace on, and she needs to be able to ambush them. And it all worked out yesterday. The King Stand's an interesting one. It wouldn't be out of place. I don't know if she's ever won up the straight at Flemington, has she?
Yeah, I think she may have.
She may have won up the straight at Flemington. So that would stand her in good stead. Look, we have great depth in sprinters. These are probably the second level, just off the top.
There's your top
sprinters.
four there.
They're the top ones there. But you know what? They're still very, very strong. It's very hard to win sprinting races here.
Good race.
Trackside today, but we've got the Blue Diamond about 11 minutes away, and because the presentation went so long, markets went up on this. Great race for the 2-year-olds. It has all been about Fontaton, and right now, nothing much has changed. 220. Okay, we lost the fixed odds feed there. 220 at the 225 for it. Pride of Dubai. Here we go. 550 out to 6. Stoker is at $9 out to $10. Of the Brave, this is 17 into 13. I'm not sure we're going to get Matt
on 220 to 230 and held very steady here on course. Money for Of the Brave 17. Looks probably a generous odds into $12 now. Well supported the good odds there. TAB number 2. Pride of Dubai 5.5 out to 6. Lake Geneva drifting 11 to 15. They
racing in the diamond. Fontaton jumped away well down towards the inside. Prop Return got away fast. Flamboyant Lass with a flyer. Miss Gidget began very quickly as they settled into stride. And here it's Flamboyant Lass out 3 wide, going up to tackle the leader, but it's Prop Return who holds out the front ahead of Miss Gidget. Thurlow settled down 4th and Fontaton right behind the leaders on the rails. Closely being followed in the field then by Heir Apparent, and back behind those horses, Thurlow a bit wider out and Bantam's ahead of those. Now Pride of Dubai about midfield on the rail, being tracked up by Stoker towards the outside. 2 or 3 further back in the field came Rima, who's on the inside of Lake Geneva, and they're being followed by Sompere second last, and Manhattan Blues is last. Prop Return around the turn, led narrowly as they come around the bend. Prop Return from Miss Gidget. Fontaton getting into the clear. She's about to get into the clear. Here she comes on the outside now, and coming with her down the outside, Bantam, and then came Of the Brave. Fontaton raced to Miss Gidget at the 200. Pride of Dubai prepped for a run. It comes now. Here's Rima storming home. Pride of Dubai, Fontaton, Rima. Rima storming up to Pride of Dubai. They come down to fight it out. They hit the line. Dubai just held on and won from Rima. A photo finish for 3rd, Lake Geneva or Manhattan Blues. Fontaton tied in the run home, and then Heir Apparent Stoker, followed further back then by Sompere, a gap to Bantam, Miss Gidget. Return towards the end, followed by Of the Brave, Flamboyant Lass and Thurlow.
And Damien Brown does it again, back-to-back off Earthquake last year. This year riding for Peter and Paul Snowden, and Pride of Dubai, a maiden going in, comes out a valuable win. Well done to Sheikh Mohammed bin Khalifa. Al Maktoum winning here over a total blowout. Rima, you can sense the crowd go quiet when Rima loomed up for Pride of the race.
Serious talent. This bloke, he would have been a moral beaten if he didn't get up. He upped an early Pratt. He missed the run at a key stage, still had the audacity to surge through and then defy Rima, who was full of momentum. An outstanding win from an outstanding talent. I can't wait to see his guy's career unfold. Still got a stack of upside too. Here's winning ride, this horse.
He did, mate. He's a little bit tardy out, but I was able to rail up and follow the favourite and got a good run there. Sort of a bit hairy trying to get the gap. Straightening, Mark tried to shut the gate on me, but like I'm a big, strong, good horse.
Last start, he
asked us, and this horse going to be a top horse next year. And this here was just a bonus, I think.
And different guys, but to win it with your dad under your own names must be something pretty special.
Oh, look, it's always great to win these races, especially for Sheikh bin Khalifa. It's our first group of horses that he's given us, so big result.
How did that come about?
He's so much to learn.
You pinched Damien Brown off him because he rode Earthquake to win last year. How did the Brown booking come about?
I just wanted someone to stick with him to ride him in the prelude and again today. Tell you the truth, Mark Zara was our first option, but he was always tied down to the filly if it happened to win the prelude. So he was out of play, and next best was him, and he's always come up trumps for us. So it was no reason why not to put him on.
Back to Sydney, you say he's got
from Rima.
Sheikh Mohammed bin Khalifa, Al Maktoum beats Sheikh Hamdan there, but the big, powerful Street Cry collar who wins his first race, and he wins a Group 1 to win his maiden, beating Rima, the lightly raced filly, and would have been a good thing licked, AD, but too big, too strong, too powerful, too good.
Look, it was he wasn't entitled to win that race given what happened to him at the 200-metre mark. He got turned sideways. It looked like at one stage he was out of play. Regrouped and hit the line in absolutely stunning fashion. I suppose the query is, Bruce, that a maiden beat a maiden beat a maiden. All the key players outside of Pride of Dubai didn't fire. Fontaton flat. Of the Brave was terrible. So I suppose there's a query in that regard.
No, I think he'll back the winner going forward, Rich. I thought he was terrific yesterday, this horse.
Yeah, look, no doubt. Look, his run was very good up here in Sydney behind Ottoman on debut. When a charge came with Hazy's horse splitting them back along the inside at Rose Hill. He's run the other day. No one missed it when he seemed to be on the wrong leg the other day and charged home, needed half a stride. The Sydney pressure and went up that day. Look, impressive late Geneva, who was, still.
He did, riding it quiet, off a reasonably good tempo. I suppose there was a bit of ruckus going up in front of us, and we had an uninterrupted run throughout and got into a nice position on straightening. Had to bustle our way out a little bit. Of the Brave was directly on my outside, but once we got through, I thought we were home, and yeah, a little bit stiff.
I thought you got to the front, didn't you?
I think I did, yeah. I got pretty excited too.
No, she deserves to win a race like this. She's come a long way in a short period of time.
The field out, but no, she just didn't have the same acceleration today. Yeah, it's shown really well.
2 weeks ago. And Peter Snowden, co-trainer, is joining us on racing.
Yeah, that's a big effort from him yesterday, and to do what he did, go what he has. No, he's pulled it really well. There's been a mark on him, and he's made everything last night, so that's all good for me.
Congratulations, Peter.
Credit up when he had a change speed and tempo. It's very hard to do for young horses, but I thought he handled himself pretty well, but more so when he got to that interference. Yeah, he picked it up again and kicked again. That's physical signs, and there's young horses don't know how to do that, and so he did remarkable job to get up the winners.
Fonty time. What was your opinion of Fonty time?
I did read in the steward's report that she pulled up with a bit of heat stress.
Yeah.
And so maybe we can make an excuse for her, or that seems to be a common problem in stewards' reports these days when a favourite gets beat.
Well, I think she was definitely off her top. She was she was better at the start before, a lot better. She should have won. I mean, she had a beautiful run in the race. She got to the front where you need to get the front and just couldn't go on with the job the last 200 metres. Pulled up with heat stress, obviously not at a top. But I'm not taking anything away from this winner, because when things go wrong, you dwell at the start, you over race a little bit, you get knocked over in the straight, and you still win. You're just better than the horses you're meeting.
He's very, very good. Believe me, he's very, very good.
I'm happy to.
You saw him last start.
I'm happy to conclude that he's a good 2-year-old.
Eyes don't lie, and to do what he did last start, he put the writing on the wall for this.
2-year-old. The rest of them, I
don't. Be careful. Be careful.
I haven't got a lot of time yet for him.
That filly that ran third there, Lake Geneva, he's only had 2 starts. She was unlucky in Sydney in what looks to be a strong form race. She seemed to lose the plot mid-race there and gathered herself up and hit the line. I reckon she's a filly that could run well in a golden slipper.
Okay. Well, I won't argue with you on it, but I'm just...
She's a quality filly, believe me.
When you look at the stats on this...
There they go. Often racing. Salerno in the centre beat them out and shows out from Mogador just after the jump, followed by Odyssey Moon. And Wolf Cries going up into a forward spot as well, followed by Sunflash. And Exosphere has ended up near the back of the field, and Sebring Sun on the outside of it. Mogador put its head in front and leads as they link onto the course proper by a neck on Salerno, who rails up again to get on level terms. And they lead from Odyssey Moon and Wolf Cry. Sunflash was next, Exosphere. And Sebring Sun on the outside is at the rear of the field, about 5 lengths off the leader. Coming up to the halfway mark, and Salerno by half now on Mogador, Odyssey Moon. Then Wolf Cry, Sebring Sun starting to creep around the outside, and he's looking to get away from the rail on Exosphere. He's now coming out on the back of Sebring Sun, and Sunflash is at the rear of the field. Mogador leads for home from Salerno, then Sebring Sun, and Exosphere is going to be the widest runner coming down the outside, and he's starting to finish fast. Oh, he put play to them in one stride, Exosphere. A great turn of foot, and he raced away about 4 lengths in front of Odyssey Moon, Wolf Cry, Sebring Sun and Mogador, and Exosphere canes them by about 3.5 Odyssey Moon. Mogador, I'd say, got third just in front of Wolf Cry. Then Sebring Sun, followed by Salerno, and Sunflash has finished at the back of the field.
Well, maybe, just maybe, he might be the top pick for the Godolphin stable heading towards it to his new golden slipper. Because as Mark Sheen rightly said, he destroyed them. He was 250 to 240 late. That was nearly as they were jumping. But Jane
there through haptics, so it's a good position to be in. Oh, we're very, very honoured to be in this position, Richo, and we've got a lot of work to do with the team going forward the next 3 weeks, and
them by about 3.5 Odyssey Moon. Mogador, I'd say, got third just in.
I'm in 34-44. Amazing how a week can change your life in the 2-year-olds. We're going to nail you down this morning, John, for this alleged top 10 of Godolphin 2-year-olds. None of this nonsense anymore. Exosphere must be getting right towards the top of it now.
Yeah, look, he's always been a very talented horse, Bruce. As Richard will be testament to, his first run, there was a little slight aberration there. It didn't quite work out for him. But so subsequently we just had to come back along steadily, and even yesterday I said to James, he was concerned about drawing the one. I said, mate, just right.
Problem of the Haptic and Furnaces race the other day where Wolfcry and Sebring Sun finished together, and then Exosphere has absolutely gapped those horses. So we've got to put you on the spot here, John. Would Exosphere, in your opinion, be better than Furnaces and Haptic?
Oh, well, we don't have Haptic in our top 5. But
Top 5.
But look, he's oh.
Well, you knew it was no good because Darren Beeman rode Haptic in work, and he only puts him on the ones out. Well,
The Golden Slipper. What an amazing season Godolphin's having with these young horses.
Yeah, they hit a little bit of a hurdle last week, but they're back in business this week. This horse has got a sense of timing about him. He's a big, laid-back, raw colt with plenty of talent. Very good ride to extricate him from the inside barrier and give him clear running by McDonald. He this looked a solid field on paper. Sebring Sun and Wolfcry look very talented horses coming into this race, and their reputations were intact. But look at this. This is a total domination. This is a proper slipper horse. So you need a strong horse for a slipper. He's strong. Hard to beat.
Agreed.
Nice
Agreed.
ride.
It was one of the good performances. I thought Headwater was the best of the season at his last start, but that's sort of up there, and the Blue Diamond winner was a very good effort as well. So, but the slipper market at the moment is like a chocolate wheel. Right? Every week there's a new one going to the top of the
To see what McDonald does, whether he sticks with Ottoman or goes with that colt there.
Don't forget about Vancouver. I think he might be running next week in the Todman against Headwater.
A week's a long time. Headwater's, he was great, and there's some.
Sweet Embrace. Set to go. Off now. Italy came out a bit slowly. Alpina missed it, and so did Mowgli. Jumping out quite well to take the lead. Tibragargan missed, followed by Speak Fondly. Always Allison driving up on the fence behind them. Followed by Heavenly Hand. Circular next, followed by Lady Javago. Then Racy and Mowgli. Italy after that slow start is back third last from Alpina. And last of all is Bakuchi. It's Tibragargan miss in front. 3/4 on Speak Fondly, followed by on the outside Circular. Always Allison fourth on the rail, and Heavenly Hand was next. Then Lady Javago, followed by Mowgli. Racy about midfield, 6 off the lead. And then further back was Alpina. Italy being hard ridden, and Makuchi is spotting them a big start as they approach the home turn. So Tibragargan miss in front of Speak Fondly. And then on the outside is Circular. Always Allison looking to come away from the inside. He's getting onto the back of Speak Fondly now, Schofield. Then Heavenly Hand. Tibragargan miss is challenged by Speak Fondly. Always Allison now getting to the centre of the track, followed by Mowgli. It's Tibragargan miss, Speak Fondly, and Always Allison out in the centre. Always Allison coming at Speak Fondly. Always Allison dropped to the front, and Always Allison beat Speak Fondly and Tibragargan miss. Then came Mowgli, followed by Italy, who ran on. Then Circular, followed by Racy, Lady Javago. Then Makuchi, Alpina, and Heavenly Hand finished at the back of the field.
Oh, geez, I thought she was impressive there late. She was impressive late, number 5, Always Allison. She didn't begin any good. She was hustled through to try and hold a spot. Then she just took a little while to warm up because she had to give a bit of ground to get to the outside, and that lasted a bit. She was impressive.
Bit different here, 34.96 home, half a second slower, but she's making good progression. Rich, is there any updates? Guy had a big rap on Speak Fondly. Any update as to thoughts on late fees here?
Look, I don't think the 150 will change will concern the connections. I think you get a sore back bending down to pick that up. But look, she was very good. She didn't begin brilliantly, which she hasn't in either start, and I thought she did a super job. Obviously, it's only 0.1 slower than the Colts, but a half a second slower the last 600. But I love the way that she lengthened out. Chris Weller's a realist, and they'll have a talk this week whether they think that they're up to the Golden Slipper. You can't win sitting at home.
For Godolphin in the slipper.
What?
Order. Where you rate them?
What's their names?
Exosphere, Furnaces, Ottoman.
Answer, Luca?
Please.
Give me the same.
I'd say the market's probably got it right.
Got a fan. He's never been headed in a race or a trial. I mean, when I say at the finish line, she's never been headed. Very unusual for a Chris Waller horse to win 3 barrier trials and then 2 races. Usually he gives them a little couple in a barrier trial, but this filly's been taught to win And I love a Desire here. She just takes the bit between her teeth and charges over the top of them here. Whether she's a slipper type, I'm not sure. Great to see those colours, the Fleming colours, back in the winner's circle as well. So, look, they're breeders. They may pay the 150. She more or less paid her way into the field yesterday.
I'd be waiting till the last moment on that one to see whether you think you're going to... I don't think she'll win the slipper. I don't think she could win it, but she could get her 150 back. So I think you'd wait till the last minute, but I just think Colts might have the edge on them.
On stakes, let's go through your top 4 selections. I can't believe the price First Seal is. 2 First Seal on top of 4 Winks, 1 Peggy Jean and 7 Adrift, 2, 4, 1 and 7.
Yeah, the run under the belt really switched her on too. So no, we're happy going into today's race, and she's drawn to get probably a better run today from that.
One-way street in the betting rink, like Flinders Lane or Pitt Street. That was worth it. Number 2 First Seal's been 170 into 155. It did lose a bit of its oomph when you took 3/4 an hour to answer the question. Little Collins Street. $1.70 into $1.55. Amicus is $41 into 26. I told you it's a big 170 bet. $2.30, and that's the only concern I've got. And I didn't get the $2.30, but a good friend of mine got $2.30.
That was the best price that was available.
Yeah, and no, $2.50 they bet.
Surround. And they're off. Well, Adrift was moving and she's missed the start. She'll end up a long way back last of all. And coming out well was High Above, showing some speed with Candelara. Lucky Racky is going forward, followed by Amicus and Sapara. Then came Abduction and Slightly Sweet, followed by First Seal. Wine Tails was further back as they settled down. Peggy Jean a fair way back, and after missing the start, Adrift is back near last of all. And Winks is in that group as well. Lucky Racky the leader and shows out from High Above. Then came Supara, followed by Amicus, and on the outside Candelara. Now making up ground is Adrift. It's gone up to midfield, but it's out about 4 wide without any cover, followed by Slightly Sweet, and then came Abduction. First Seal in the second half of the field, and then came Winetails, Peggy Jean and Winks at the back of the field. 600 out, Lucky Racky the leader. 3/4 High Above, Sapara, Candelara. Then came Amicus, followed by Adrift, and then came Abduction. First Seal is about 3 and 4 wide. She's out in the better ground and starting to roll forward, followed by Slightly Sweet. Winetails was further back from Peggy Jean and Winks coming into the straight. Lucky Racky just in front from High Above. Here comes First Seal. She's letting rip down the centre, and the odds-on favourite shot to the front now. She raced about 3 clear of Supara, then Slightly Sweet. She's something special, First Seal. She'll win it hands and heels only, and First Seal beat Supara. Third, Slightly Sweet, just in front of Amicus, and then came Winks and Winetails, followed by Adrift and Candelara. Then Peggy Jean, followed by Abduction, High Above, and Lucky Racky has finished at the back of the field.
Wow, she didn't let anyone down. She was heavily backed. She could be one of the big stars of the upcoming Autumn Carnival. Number 2, First Seal. And the drier the tracks, the better she'll even be, which is an ominous for her opposition heading into the Autumn Carnival. 2, First Seal. Blake Shin came...
It is after last run. Like, you know, she was underdone last start, but I still thought she'd probably win, but just found a bit of trouble, and the track probably didn't play in our favour that day from barrier 1, but today was a different story. We'd drawn to get a run that, you know, we just needed, we didn't care if we were wide, just give her clear running and she'll do the rest. And he got that done, and she's the Blake this one. Doesn't matter if first or last, as long as she's travelling and clear, you know, room to do a job, you know, she'll get it done.
And if she stays at 3-year-old fillies grade, I mean, she's just going to take a power beating in anything that she tackles. Would you look for something loftier than that throughout this carnival?
She goes to the Coolmore next start. That was always planned, and just depending on how she runs in that, that's what we decide whether she goes to Vinery or whatever, Doncaster. But one run at a time.
It's so important for you, though.
One run at a time.
It's so important for you, though.
The feeling when she let down.
It's pretty amazing. I'm very lucky. I've ridden some good horses. But yeah, she's up there with the best of them, I think.
This is the one.
And heels only, and First Seal beats Supara. Third, Slightly Sweet, just in front of Amicus. And then
Made them look a bit ordinary, Rich. First Seal.
The simple fact of the matter is they put up $2.50 on Wednesdays. I thought they were giving out free ham and steaks with it when obviously everyone was all over it. First Seal. She is a star. She was unlucky first up, but wow, yesterday. And Mark, I knew she'd be well back, but I never in my wildest dreams when the price went up thought she'd start 2s on.
No, well, they were taking the $1.70 into 155 at one stage, but they were spot on, weren't they? That was a better turn of foot from her yesterday, wasn't it, Brent, compared to Randwick, where she seemed to she was fighting to get off the fence and lost a bit of momentum, but she was great yesterday.
John Thompson's obviously had a long preparation in mind for this filly, potentially going to the Coolmore next start, and then a decision will be made whether she goes on to the Doncaster or sticks to the 3-year-old fillies and onto the Vinery Stud Stakes. So with that in mind, she was always going to be a touch soft first up. With that run under her belt yesterday, she was just able to power past her opposition. And it was quite arrogant the way that Blake Shin just sat last. He was happy to give them a start. You don't see too many fillies take off 4 and 5 wide and just circle their rivals and go straight past them.
Isn't it great to see a bloke who's...
Field ridden by Blake Shin for John Thompson. That was a devastating win.
Well, there's a wow factor about this. I know I'll probably be shouted down, but it sort of reminds me of like a Sunline type performance.
Wow.
I remember being at Warwick Farm one day and see Sunline just blowing fillies and mares out of the fillies away like this, and she continue on. Look, she's got a long way to go before we can even mention her in the same breath. But I tell you,
she's lovely though.
This is special stuff. There's so many beautiful fillies and mares that I'm saying are coming up well for the Coolmore Classic. Mahara later on, which we'll see, but this filly, she'll get into the Coolmore with 54.5. How can they beat her? How can they beat her?
It's going to be tough.
I wonder if they'll run. If she wins the Coolmore, I know they got the Doncaster. Would they run a dominant filly like her in a Queen Elizabeth, 2,000 metres?
Well, you get a weight advantage and a pretty serious one. So
she's favourite for a Doncaster mile now.
Look at that. Look, I think John Thompson's getting a bit of a reputation with fillies and mares too. I mean, it's not that he can't train others, but this is a beautiful filly.
Yeah.
Best of the fillies, head and shoulders. Are they better than the Colts? Well, that's the matchup. That's the test. We're all waiting for.
She's very, very good.
Well, there's the Queen of the Turf, First Seal 460, and of course that race these days is run at Randwick.
Look at the quaddie here at Warwick Farm. It is the Liverpool City Cup, won last year by horse that's now rated the #1 sprinter in the world in Terra Vista. Pornichet resumes here. We've seen that he's got a lot of ability. Let's look at the market and make our way into the mounting yard for the Liverpool.
Now, this one, it's somewhat. On Wednesday, they bet $21. Today, it's been $7.50 into $5.50. That's what you call a big go. $7.50 to $5.50.
Inspiration for this. We know over in Europe he was credentialed over 2,000 metres plus. Can he sprint well enough?
And jumping out of the stalls, it's somewhat about midfield. Malavio missed the start and Destiny's Kiss out the back as well. Hot Schnitzel jumped out a lot better today and is up near the lead on settling down. Going with it is Aomen, followed by Thump and Red Excitement just on the back of the pace. Then Pornichet and Territory, followed by It Somewhat, who works his way up to be about midfield as they settle down. With it as they go past the 900-metre mark, there is Ruby, followed by Slow Pace and Destiny's Kiss. Malavio, Canny Ballad is further back and back near the tail is Singing Flame and Gypsy Diamond up in front of a couple of runners. It's Hot Schnitzel and Aomen. Thump is in third spot, and then a couple of lengths to Red Excitement. He gets a lovely trail up behind them, followed by Territory. It Somewhat was next, followed by Rudy, and then came Pornichet at about 3 lengths to Slow Pace, Gypsy Diamond and Malavio. Coming around the home turn, Aomen and Hot Schnitzel. Thump's in third spot, but is under the whip. Red Excitement peeling to the centre, and It's Somewhat coming up underneath them. He's working through and starting to run on strongly. So Aomen and Hot Schnitzel with It Somewhat, and Thump running on. Then Rudy working through in the middle. It Somewhat is coming strongly now to hit the lead with 100 to go. Rudy's coming through out after him, but It's Somewhat's going to win it. Beat Rudy, and Gypsy Diamond on the outside will get up for third in front of Malavio. Then Aomen and Thump, followed by Destiny's Kiss, and then Red Excitement, followed by Singing Flame, Hot Schnitzel, Slow Pace, Canny Ballad, Pornichet, and last in was Territory.
Wow, heavily backed, $21 on Wednesday. It was the market mover here today. #5, It's Somewhat. The speed was on right from the get-go. Settled midfield, railed up really, or off the inside, but railed up into a perfect spot. Sprinted very good. 5, It's Somewhat. James McDonald for John O'Shea. Another European wins. The Villiers winner, Rudy. Well, he's on target for a race.
You can transport horses from international to Australia, not just the other way.
Yeah, and it gives a bit of focus for the boss and the team at Godolphin internationally, and now we've got...
He won really well.
Well, we saw contributor a fortnight ago. We're going to see him again this afternoon. Is he around the ballpark?
No, I'd rate contributor much better, but he's going there. He's getting in the right place, and I think this one's more of a genuine stayer.
Yeah, but
The outside will get up for third in front of Malone.
Was formerly with Mark Johnson, had been well down the track behind Sizemont, a horse we know, at 2,700 metres in the Jeffrey Free. They'll be waking up this morning in England, Johnny, and saying he must be a complete genius. This horse has never run at this distance, and his soft win at 1,300.
Yeah, that's probably it, Bruce. Because he's never run there before. He's shown me that he's got a nice turn of foot. So we weren't. I probably would have liked 1,400 to be fair, but he has run third in England's version of the Cox Plate, so it was a significant drop in grade, and he was still relatively well weighted.
When you get him out here, Johnny, do you just say, right, blank sheet, I'll let them tell me, and then I'll work them out rather than having any preconceived ideas or thoughts?
Oh, for sure. Look, he presented in both his trials. Mark, you'd appreciate that he was
Mark didn't work out which one he was.
I think he had the red cap.
A lot of work and just keep the speed in his legs.
Is he a Doncaster horse, or is he looking for further than that at the top level?
I think that he needs a relatively light autumn, to be fair. He doesn't carry a lot of condition, and he hasn't done quite as well as Hartnell out here, so I'd probably just give him a run in the rider, see where he shapes up there, and then into the Donny, and that'll do him.
Welcome back to Warwick Farm for the feature of the day, the Group 1 Chipping Norton Stakes, weight for age over 1,600 metres, and a contributor. Can he continue on what's already been a golden day for Godolphin? He is the favourite as we make our way into the mounting yard for the Liverpool City Council. Chipping Norton Stakes.
For him, he looks great. It's just the only way I get beat, I think, if he just got a little bit of flatness about him. But Boban, $13. Pretty solid today, $13 Boban. 5.5 star is $91. He's your man. $11 into $9.50. The favourite contributor, $2.60 it got to. It's back into $2.50. $16 out to $18. Silent Achiever, $8 out to $10. Silent Achiever. And the bottom one, Lucia Valentina, $5 to $6.50 it got to. She's now back into $6, so $6.50.
And there they go, off and racing, and Janoob's come out behind them. Missed the start. Hartnell will end up second last. Ninth Legion began well. Silent Achiever driving up on the inside with 5.5 star, and also showing a bit of speed. Weary going through with the leaders. So Weary now put his head in front and leads from Ninth Legion, 5.5 star, followed by Silent Achiever, and then came Contributor, followed by He's Your Man, who's a little bit wide, so he's working forward. Back behind them next, last of all, is Janoob, going around that corner with about 1,000 to go. And Weary leads by a half a length on Ninth Legion in second from 5.5 star. He's Your Man was next. Then came Silent Achiever and Contributor. They're sharing fifth, followed by Hawkspur. Further back was Who Shot the Barman, Forteller. Boban looks wide, so too is Lucia Valentina. Then came Opinion, Disclaimer, Hartnell, and Janoob is last of all. 600 metres to go. The Grey Weary, the leader, shows out from Ninth Legion. He's Your Man going up closer on the outside to third, and Contributor going forward with it. By 5.5 star. Silent Achiever getting off the fence. She's run up behind the leaders, and then came Who Shot the Barman and Boban, and Lucia Valentina still midfield. She's about 5 off the lead. Contributor and He's Your Man went up now to tackle Ninth Legion. Then Silent Achiever, but Contributor has shot to the front now from He's Your Man. Silent Achiever's getting out late. Forteller on the inside, and then Hartnell starting to thunder home, but over the concluding stages, Contributor. Contributor hangs on and beats Hartnell. It's a Godolphin Quinella. Then came in behind them next over the line, He's Your Man, followed by Who Shot the Barman, Forteller, Silent Achiever, Opinion, and then Ninth Legion. Followed further back by 5.5 star Lucia Valentina. Then came Weary, Janoob, Disclaimer, Hawkspur, and Boban's pulled up at the back of the field.
It mightn't have been as emphatic as it was a fortnight ago in the Apollo, but it was a terrific grinding effort this afternoon. The market mover, the favourite, number 5, Contributor. It's blue everywhere. It beats the stablemate Hartnell. What an eye catcher. Geez, John Ferguson would be as proud as punch, and so would Sheikh Mohammed.
The Godolphin operation and give you enormous satisfaction.
Yeah, it's great for a team effort, Richo, more than anything. It's good because, all the team that are here today, and we worked very hard to get this result. I mean, it's only the start. But
process of when this whole operation, the whole idea came about.
I mean, I got no idea. Ferg just turned up one day and said, well, when he came out to make an announcement, he just sort of, we're having a cup of tea. Oh, by the way, there's a couple of horses coming down, and that's how it's very relaxed about it. And so, thanks. And when they gave us the names, when they look at the form, and we all got pretty excited. who would have thought it'd turn out like this? But it's a lovely.
Contributor hangs on and beats Hartnell. It's a golf.
First Group 1 for Godolphin for Johnny O'Shea. Well done, but no one's missed the run and the preparation going into it of Hartnell. As usual in this weight for age contest, Rich, a heap of good runs behind, but this horse is just in a dominant spot right now, Contributor.
Oh, mate, Darren Bevan watched the race near me. He said, mate, we've got the trifecta. All right, to tell him he only had 2 runners, mate. I said, the other blue's not you, Darren. Yeah, look, that was a gun ride. The first 20 metres of the race, it only began average, and James punched it through to make sure he was more positive. And I think John said that in the post-race interview. No, it was a 6-4 favourite. You had to be more positive. Look, I think this horse is a superstar. We saw how electric he was first up at the 14. I said 2 weeks ago, I think he'd win the Newmarket if they prepared him for a Newmarket. He's the best horse in Australia at the moment. He's Your Man was a lot fitter, but the second horse, well, Stevie Wonder texted me after the race. He said, wow. And I tell you what, John, I don't mind the rider either. James Doyle can ride.
No, they're world-class riders, both him and William, and we're very lucky to have access to them.
Obviously, we know where Contributor's at right now, but Hartnell had trialled beautifully for you. You must be excited about where he's going to head this autumn.
Well, ideally, Bruce, we had him pegged as our BMW Sydney Cup horse. He is still in the Australian Cup. And it's something that we haven't had the opportunity to discuss yet. The gentleman beside me just texting someone at the moment.
Fergs.
So that's an option for him.
Race.
But look, I'm just heading out the farm after here just to see how they both pulled up. A Contributor will just go along conventional path into the Ramvet and the Queen Elizabeth. James commented after the race that ideally we'd ride him just that bit quieter, and I'm sure when we get back on the bigger tracks of Randwick and Rose Hill that we'll have that option. He just had to get the job done yesterday, and as a result, had him sort of a little bit closer than normal.
It wasn't sort of the dazzling turn of foot which we saw last start from him, was there?
No, it wasn't. But the other day we allowed him to just find his feet and zip home. And again, Mark, I think he's more a Randwick horse, to be fair. Yeah.
What about that, Rich? Of course, when you're right for Godolphin as James, you're not Jimmy anymore, are you? You have to be James. James 1-2.
James even introduced him now as James Gordon McDonald. It's like the middle name now.
Let's get to
Group 1, the Chipping Norton Contributor. He'd won the Apollo Stakes 2 weeks ago. He won the Coonji in the spring. Now, Ronnie's delivered a Group 1 to Godolphin. That's a big result for John O'Shea too. His horses have been going so well. A big Group 1 Quinella there yesterday.
Yeah, a huge result. And look, he's got him up and running early in his preparation, and the result is there, a Group 1 win for a very probably valuable stallion proposition. Now, this stablemate of his Hartnell, this is the real thing. This is the real thing. He's got form up to 2 Mile. He's in the Sydney Cup light. These Sydney Cup horses, who shot the barman, Hartnell and Opinion, all went sensational.
Yes, they did.
He's your man. Don't worry. He just may be a little close in the run yesterday. He's ticking along. He hasn't had the residual fitness of a couple of these. And look, other than that, I think, all honest to the Godolphin with the winning Quinella.
Yes.
But
some nice runs
very, very good runs from some stayers there.
I agree with you. I think it was a good, strong form race that. Now, you've just gone through all the runs. I agree with everything you said about every one of them. Just a comment I would like to make, though, is that you hear all this, Australian trainers are putting speed in these European horses' legs. I want to be careful how I say this because I don't want to offend Australian trainers because they're good trainers. But it's a bit disrespectful to the European trainers to say that. They don't train them for those sorts of races. They're not interested in those sorts of races for those horses. The bottom line, saying they put speed in these horses' legs is a misread. What these horses are is just better horses than our horses. And when you train them our way, they're able to do what we want them to do. So we have inferior training facilities, so it's a bit rich to say that we're improving these horses. We're just changing horses that are already better than ours. So it's not a disrespectful to anyone here or there.
Okay.
1,300 metres.
There's a fine art in buying a tried horse from overseas, and obviously the writing's on the wall with the Godolphin, and we've been crying out for them to, if they want good stayers in Australia, we've got to nurture them in Australia, and I think they're finally getting the idea.
Yeah, I don't know that we're nurturing the stayers. I think we're taking some of their second-level stayers and making them middle-distance horses.
Oh, no, look,
Let's see if we can take them back up again. Nurturing the stayers. I think we're taking some of their second-level stayers and making them middle-distance horses.
Oh, no, look,
Let's see if we can take them back
they're
up
buying
again.
a few of these horses to get ready for Melbourne Cups, like your Hartnells and...
Well, the test for our trainers is, can they take these horses who are now winning at these distances and take them back up to those distances? That's
exactly
the test.
right.
All right.